And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tuesday show. My name is James Chen, and I am joined once again by the dynamic duo besides me, David, and
I was gonna say, it's what?
Tubo.
I'm having an excellent day. Thanks a lot for hanging out, everybody. What about you, Tubbo?
You know, I am psyched. I'm pumped. I'm stoked. What other word
my
you can
day
use
has
for hype?
been wonderful.
I am all of those things. Oh
and
my.
Yeah, I'm really
Anyways,
excited.
James just ruined all my excitement.
Tubo's day has been going well on porpoise, right? So there you go. So
okay, all right. There you go. There's a thing that happened. Let's talk about what we're going to be talking about today. Here's the lineup, as you can see on the side. We have an announcement I've just learned. Just right now, I found out about that. Wow, amazing. I'm sure I'll find out more shortly. Number 2, we'll talk about Baiken in Sam's show. We'll talk about Mortal Kombat, and I don't know, maybe some rumors are happening. We have guest Proxy on. We'll be talking about Marvel. We'll be talking about Tampa Never Sleeps, and also this announcement that's coming up. We'll have viewer questions. There's assorted other news to get to, character trailers, that kind of stuff. We'll talk about some tournaments that happened. We'll talk about some tournaments that will be happening, upcoming. And then we have a pretty good number of mailbag questions today. So I'm looking forward to that side of things. But let's begin by talking about whatever's going on the side up here. Ultra Chen TV announcement.
God,
what could it be?
What order?
That's not something we've done very often.
All right, do we want to do a drum roll? How dramatic do we want to make this?
Just run it. Just run it. Just let the people have it.
Actually, let me go use the bathroom first. I need to. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Here we go. Announcement of an announcement of an announcement. Announcing the Ultra Chen TV Commentator Cup, a commentator-only invitational for Guilty Gear Strive. We are going to be running our own event, our own tournament. And yes, the announcement is David is pregnant. That's why he is wearing the egg shirt. It is a symbol.
Wait, hold on, James. I like how the chat is already saying, Sajam getting the dub, Sajam baby. You guys don't even know if Sajam is in this.
Yeah, you don't even know.
How are you saying? Come on,
you don't even know.
How do you know that we haven't put Sajam out of the tournament because he's been blacklisted for telling us that, the Ultra Chen TV... No, I'm just kidding.
Talking about our netcode.
Yeah, he's talking about our netcode. Oh, man.
All right, let's show him the slides we got.
All right, so boom, here we go. It is going to be September 17th at 5 p.m. 16 commentators, one night only, 3 out of 5 sets, double elimination, and here are the list of players. I am going to pause this here for you guys to see the 16 total people here. I realize now if I pause this, it doesn't look as good. Let me just grab the actual slide over here.
Yeah, you can just grab the slide.
It's all good. Look, here's the list, and I should let you know that this is still mildly in flux because some people, I guess, have jobs and
some people. One person had a job.
Yeah,
and had to ruin it for all of us.
This is not entirely going to be accurate, but we will definitely find other folks to play. If that is what happens.
And I do want to say, I see some people in the chat talking about this already. Yeah, no Giuna, no Majin Obama, none of the EU players. The idea is that this is just going to be North America for now. So we weren't trying to be jerks and not including people like Tyrant and such, C4, all these people.
We want to make sure that they can actually play the game and show their stuff. And
correct.
Playing people from Japan and North America is rough.
Yeah, for sure. So here's the list. You may be familiar with many of them. Ryan Hunter, Hell Pockets might have to drop out, but we'll get something else.
Job.
You're probably familiar with as well. She's a great commentator. We had her on the show actually just pretty recently. Callisto has been running his stream and commentating on his stream, BG Callisto, for many, many years at this point, and is a good dude and a good player. We'll have him on here. That's going to be cool up there in Chicago. Sajam, somebody might have heard of. I think that somebody earlier was talking about this guy. He might be pretty good. I guess we'll see. Cola, aka Saint Cola, but I think for formatting purposes that name didn't fit. So it's Cola.
hold that, Saint Cola.
I mean, he could have used ST dot, right? I mean,
not a chance. Not a chance. Saint Cola also has been commentating basically everything. Proxy, who we'll have on the show very shortly. So if you don't know who he is, you probably do. But if you don't, then we'll have a whole thing talking about who he is. Stick around for that. Ski Sonic, one of the dudes who basically pioneered commentary in the
I was
FGC.
gonna say, can we talk about how we dragged Ski Sonic out of competitive retirement?
I mean, that dude's been playing this game a lot.
He's been practicing.
He has been practicing, and he's been commentating over at Xanadu as well. Ebonic Plague, which is one word, I guess, up there also for formatting reasons, is going to be playing in this. So Ebonic Plague will be here. That's going to be very cool. Saki Sakura is a Mortal Kombat NRS player and commentator. She's super cool. She's been playing a lot of Strive lately. We'll have her on. I'm really excited about that.
Callisto, are we including TOs in this? I mean, come on. What is?
Hey man, if the TO talks on the mic more than most commentators, I think they count as a commentator.
I mean, for sure. And also, guess what, folks? You and I are TOs now. Because of this very event right here. Vicious, you probably know also. Lots of Street Fighter, but also he plays like basically everything, and he's been playing a lot of Strive. Jadelyn is probably best known for BB Tag, but other stuff as well. She's a big anime head. She's been playing this game a lot. Looking forward to that one. Clage as well. He's been playing Gear since the 1900s.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the 1900s. Very knowledgeable in the game. That's going to be cool. Raph as well. Been playing for a very long time. Did you say
Romanova already? I didn't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I sure did.
Yeah.
And we had Raph on the show recently, so if you'd like to get a refresher about who he is, he's a very cool dude. Absolutely. Check out one of our recent shows. Sharpie will be on here. She's a big Skullgirls head, but also is a fan of lots of other stuff and is a super cool person. Very excited that she'll be on here too. And then Meta Abe, been around for a very long time commentating. You might know him most for KOF, I guess, but also for other games. He's been playing Gear a long time himself, and is going to be and has been playing this game a lot too. He's going to be in there too.
For sure.
So it's a super cool list of players. High five to everybody who is down to play. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. There's a little bit more info. We have a Matcherino going for this.
We do.
And we'll have a link to that in the YouTube notes.
In the near future, we'll have code as well, so you guys can add to the pot for free. But we're still setting up the event, so it'll be a few days. But we'll get it for you guys, and we'll definitely tweet it out and everything.
Yeah, man. Yep, for sure. Clay's more known for
Clay
speed running.
Clay's just that speed running guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You can see it'll be on September 17th. That is Friday at 5 p.m. September 17th.
Yep.
It will be 3 out of 5, of course. Double Limb will be playing on the personal computer so that everybody can have the best frame data and frame rate possible.
Yeah. Who's commentating the event? We're going to 3-way commentate it, Investigation Going. So all 3 of us will be on commentary for the event.
We're not playing, we're just commentating. So the 3 of us are not.
We're commentating the commentators because at the end of the day, we stand above them all. I mean, that's the point of this. We're just trying to prove to them that we're the greatest commentators while they're stuck playing. All right?
Yeah, and also this way we don't have to actually show how good or not good we may be at this video game. We're getting off easy on
we
this.
don't want to embarrass all of them.
Gibby, I had actually thought about that, but get players to commentate, and so, and especially try to get like the most inarticulate players possible. So.
Oh, God. That's gonna be awesome. Yes, some people asking. Hopefully people will stream it on their own sides too. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. So
yeah, I mean that's the idea.
Has their own stream, and they're going to be. I mean, if they want to, they're not obligated to. But if they
want
to, they can stream their own side too.
Dude, all the commentators are talking shit in the chat already here, dude. Man, Raph.
I mean,
we just said Raph was the nicest person in the world, and he's talking shit to Jadelyn right now, and it's just like, man,
who is also maybe the nicest person on earth. So. It's like Canada's going to war with Canada right now.
With Sweden or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. I think this is really cool. What's up, Toba?
I was just going to say, I mean, you can kill the graphic or say whatever you're going to say. I can add on to whatever make your point.
Well, I just wanted to say that what I don't want to do with this is to is to make it seem like somebody should be taken more or less seriously as a commentator because they win or don't win this event. Like, that is not the point of this kind of thing.
No, that's the whole point of this. Whoever wins is the ultimate commentator.
The best player is the best comment. Yeah, no, we just want to see who the best player is among these people. That's all.
Yeah. Just a fun idea to hang out with some buddies and play some games, and
all commentators
have a good time, hopefully.
0-2 are barred for commentating.
Oh my god!
Man.
And hopefully we'll get them some cash. Hopefully the Matcherino goes well.
Yeah. Exactly. And the other thing too, obviously, it's the Commentator Cup. And so it is definitely open up to future Street Fighter V tournaments, to future whatever game we feel like, right? So, we will definitely open this up for a bunch of other people. And I think that will be really cool. I think that'll be fun if we can keep this up and just keep doing this every once in a while, just so the commentators get a chance to show their stuff a little bit as well. So
that's the idea, because commentators ain't no chumps, all right? Just because we choose to talk about the game doesn't mean we can't play. I mean, James Chen is an Evo top 8er in Mario
Kart. Yeah.
But it's still Evo top 8 nonetheless. All right.
Okay, to be fair, at an Evo West, I did make top 8 on winner's side of Hyper Street Fighter 2. Okay.
Let's go.
Hyper Street Fighter
I did
2.
And I did it by I think was that the year that I can't remember. I remember I took out a bunch of people, and there was one year where I almost beat Serlin and I lost to him at Evo, but I think that year I might have beat him. I can't remember. Anyways, but top 8. Well, yep, winner side.
The Evo fact West. Is that at least a couple of these people in this tournament have, in fact, made a fighting game Evo top 8.
Absolutely.
But, again, the idea is not to blow up people who don't end up winning this event. Hopefully it goes well on that front. If we see that kind of stuff, we're going to tamp it down, definitely. That's not the goal. Just trying to have fun and play some video games. Yeah, I think it'd be great to do in the future, as you guys were talking about. We're doing it for Guilty Gear right now because, it's the game. It's like the current meetup game. Like, everybody's playing Gear. From whatever fighting game scene you're in, a lot of us are playing Guilty Gear. So it makes this one a really nice, easy way to go. Yeah, exactly.
And
in the future, that might be some other game. In the future, maybe it's a game that isn't necessarily the meetup, but still does have its own legit scene too.
Right. And just as a note, September 17th is indeed a Friday. So we will be running this on a Friday, mostly because a lot of these people here have obligations on weekends for obvious reasons. And so we're running on a Friday to make sure people have the best chance to be able to make it. Unlike some people like Hell Pockets who have to
fucking Hell Pockets
got a job or whatever.
God, I tell you right now, he's definitely sweating this tournament right now. So as a person who
CEO top 8 Hell Pockets,
coward
who never sat at a chair for more than 2 minutes without leaving it sopping wet.
That is actually facts.
That's why I said he's.
If you have to commentate after Hell Pockets, it's the worst. Just don't sit on his side. No matter what Seg tells you, sit on the other side.
Yeah. We're being absolutely truthful about this. He sweats a lot and he's got a lot of hair. And so if he puts a headset on, it's just going to become just slippery wet.
Get the disinfectant wipes afterwards. So,
All right. So before we run out of time here, we have a Discord, obviously, to organize and also just for the commentators to talk, right?
Yeah.
Well, today, it just so happens, as we were getting ready to announce, some players decided that they were going to talk some shit. And I promised them that I would read some of these out loud on the show.
Oh, no. Can we make it so that anybody can view it but not write in it?
But maybe later.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So Sharpie decided to start off with violence, saying, "I'm really excited to show everyone who hasn't played Skullgirls how inferior they are in video games because of it. Also, if she wins, she wants a trophy of Ram's feet. So I hope you're ready to make that on your 3D printer, David." Abana
and
Clay
you know what?
says,
It's actually
it looks ready to go.
It's actually going to be like just sheep feet. If we're gonna do like goat hooves and stuff like that, because it's ram's feet, right? So,
even worse, maybe.
Yeah, right. That's even weirder. Bonic Plague says his skills in Smash Brothers Brawl are the reason he's gonna win. I feel like he's shit talking himself, but that's what he told me to say.
Hey man, as a former Brawl tournament competitor myself, you never know. Maybe he trips his way into winning one of these things.
Hell Pocket said,
You're
I'm
tripping,
a coward
David.
and I quit
Anyway.
the tournament, so there's that. Raph, the nicest guy in the world, says, my trash talk would have to be how I've been in the trenches with Gear longer than most of you ever knew what Guilty Gear was, and I've forgotten more about Guilty Gear more than you will ever know, especially you, Ryan Hunter and Clage. So
there may
that.
be some slight editing here by Tobo.
So hold that. Jalen says I'm terrible at trash talk. And Saki Sakura says, can you mention I'm coming for Saint Cola?
Ooh.
That's my beef. He just plays Leo, and I gotta defend the Anji gang.
Let's go.
Okay.
I like the specific trash talk. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. A matter of fact, right when Cola joined the chat room, immediately people were like, I want to play against Cola. So he apparently has a target on his back. And you know what? He deserves it because he plays Leo.
This is true. This is true. Just like all them May players out there, right? So.
Totsugeki!
Did you see?
That's
so
the
person I trust the most, FAB, put May as like third best character in the game. So there you go.
What a dummy! It shows that he plays pot. I think he's on pot with those breakings.
That's the announcement. It's cool. We're gonna be really looking forward to it. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it'll be fun. I'm sure it will be. But yeah, again, we'll have a link to the match arena when that is ready to go. We hope to pump that up and get these folks a little bit of cash at least, spread that around a little bit. But again, they'll, if they want to, are welcome to stream their own path as well. So check that out if you're curious.
Yeah. Can I point out that Tubo just accused someone of being on pot?
Sure did.
Well, I think I would know better than most.
Yeah, I
think I can spot him out.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that should be exciting. Really good stuff. Let me bring up this thing one last time over here. Boo. Once again, Guilty Gear Strive is going to be the game with the 16 commentators. September 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It will be 3 out of 5 sets, double elimination. We won't stream all the matches or we will be there forever. But, the winner side, we will stream as many of the matches as we can, of course. And that will be on Ultra Chen TV. So look forward to that. And once again, the players are Hell Pockets, Ryan Hunter, Romanova, Vicious, Sajam, Saint Cola, Proxy, Ski Sonic, Ebonic Plague, Saki Sakura, Callisto, Jadelin, Clage, Raph, Sharpie, and Meta Abe.
Cool.
Yeah, boy.
All right. Very good. Well, let's move on to the next topic then.
Oof. Baiken
good to go.
Has joined Samurai Shodown.
Indeed.
This was the character that they had said was going to be a guest character from Guilty Gear. Most people guessed it was going to be Baiken, and Baiken, indeed it is. She came out and is playable now, and I haven't had a chance to directly mess with her. I've watched Olaf mess with her, talked with him a little. She seems good. She seems really good. Now, her damage is definitely a little tempered compared to other characters, but they just gave her combos. Like, she can do jump slash into jump dust like she could before at any point in time, and it combos, and she seems like she has a lot of really strong potential. Her parry, you just hold the parry and it just like parries everything. So if Yoshitora does giant 7 sword thing, you just activate parry, hold the button, and goes cling 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 cling, and then she's just through the whole thing, and then she can murder you with the command. She seems really, really, really good.
Well, talk to me about like how her options from Gear like made it into this game. I guess you just talked about a couple, but like how did it go?
Dude, they just like put her in there like Exert. It's the Exert style. So obviously, if you know Baiken, XX Baiken, very different than Exert Baiken. XX Baiken just had alpha counters all day, you know, guard reversals and stuff like that. You blocked, you alpha countered, dead angles, I guess you'd call them for the Guilty Gear side. I think what they thought in Exert was that if you had the ability to, you know, be able to alpha counter into YRC, like you'd be able to kill everything way too much. So they changed her so that now the only way she can get access to her moves was by doing parries. So she had a parry, and then if you got the parry trigger, you can do it. But they also added the fact that Baiken has always had a command run that had armor on it. But in Exert, you could cancel the run into one of her parry follow-ups now. So before, all those moves were locked behind the alpha counter, and now in Exert you could do command run into one of those moves. So if you did it fast enough, it was basically like you were canceling directly into those moves. That's the Baiken that they brought over to Samurai Shodown, so she can just do run into, you know, one of the follow-ups and such. But sure enough, she's got the tatami mat. Like if she combos into the tatami guy, like it pops you up. Then she could do jump slash into dust. She gets juggle combos off of that. And she's got the claw that she had from Samurai.
She has a 6P, basically. She has an amazing jab anti-air.
Huh. Yeah, she's like, they gave her a 6P. Yeah, I think she can
basically Dude, yeah, her anti-air is ridiculous.
She looks really good. Like, I feel like she has the most options. You know what I mean? Like, Samurai Shodown, obviously, you know, it's very well known and intentional. The characters are pretty, you know, toned down a little bit, but Baiken feels like she's got a lot of stuff now. Again, on top of all that, it just feels like she intentionally doesn't do a lot of damage individual hits like you do normally get in Sam's show, because she is going to get long combos and stuff like that. So pretty sure I feel like she's going to be good. I feel like she's going to be good in the game. So
that's cool. Any thoughts from people about whether they find her interesting? I mean, is she good? And she sounds cool to me, the way that you're describing her.
I mean, to be honest with you, one of the most fascinating things, I mean, from an aesthetic standpoint, you know, we haven't actually seen like if you think about it, she went from being sprites into a game that emulated sprites. So this is like the first time we've actually gotten to see her as a 3D model, and they did a really good job. It feels like they imported her almost directly from Exert, and like, even though there's, you know, obviously in between frames and stuff like that, it looks like they mimicked a lot of them. Like someone actually put her win poses from Exert and from Samurai Shodown next to each other, and it looks exactly the same. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that, and honestly, I thought that it looked really good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think most people do seem that she's really fun, you know, to lab and to mess around, you know, as a one player in training mode a lot, because currently there's no other way to play Samurai Shodown outside of one player training mode. So, you know, that's
I hear you.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's
anyway,
really cool. And I would be, I mean, me and Olaf are probably going to try to sit down and mess with her a little bit. Also learn Amakusa and Hibiki a little bit more as well. Try them out. So, because we haven't really even had a chance to mess with those characters for pretty obvious reasons.
Okay. Well, I also know that there was a patch. Do you have much intel on what happened there?
So they didn't really do much in the patch. I mean, they did kind of some of the things that were to be expected, that Amakusa and Hibiki got tweaks, because they're the two newest characters. They're probably not as balanced, people finding stuff with the characters that they weren't expecting, bugs or whatever like that. But honestly, nobody else really got any changes. Except Jubei. Randomly, Jubei got a bunch of quality of life changes, like his parry recovers faster and stuff like that. And I mean, Jubei was a character who was always top tier in this game, but as time went on, they nerfed him little by little, and he kind of fell off a little bit. He kind of hit that mid-tier point where he kind of lost a lot of the juice while everybody else got more juice. Like characters like Sogetsu, who were like super weak when he first came out, are like ridiculous now. And Rimururu, who was really bad, is like super good now.
She's good.
Yeah, and so Jubei, since they nerfed him based off of the early stuff, he kind of fell down. So it's weird that they targeted just him to buff. But there it is. So okay. So people are saying they buffed Amaxa like crazy. Okay, there you go. So there you go.
Cool. All right.
Nope.
Anything else to say on this?
No. I think that's about all I've got here. But yeah, too bad we can't play her online. Anyways, let's go to the next thing here.
Okay.
Dude, it's like it's so hard not to talk about that.
I hear you.
It's so frustrating. Cause like I said, I want to enjoy this game, but like it's hard, man.
I hear you.
Oh, people are saying Baiken's theme is amazing.
Oh yeah, they made a brand new theme. SNK did, I'm pretty sure, just for that character. So that I can't recall of like a complete new brand new theme being made for a guest character before like that. Like usually they remix an existing theme, but this one is completely new from my understanding.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That is cool.
I could be wrong. It's my understanding. This is what I read online. I'm believing Twitter. Twitter's let me down before.
Always tells the truth.
Always very truthful.
Nothing but truths on Twitter.
One of the main things about it. All right, speaking of other assuredly absolutely correct stuff that definitely can't be wrong. There's a rumor that NRS, NetherRealm Studio, is going to be focusing on Mortal Kombat again. Now, we talked not long ago about MK11 being announced to have no more changes. Like the development cycle on it is done. They announced that. And so immediately we were like, oh, what's next? Is it Injustice 3? Is it the previously rumored Marvel-related fighting game that some people were talking about? I don't know. Is it another Mortal Kombat? I think we mostly thought it was like Injustice maybe, or like this whatever this rumored game is.
Marvel game, yeah.
And now the rumor is that it's Mortal again. That it's Mortal Kombat 12 is what they're working on. So
sure.
here's the genesis of this. So a while back, this is some months ago, there was a rumor that WB Games was going to be sold off from I believe AT&T, and if it had, then NRS might no longer have the licenses to the DC characters, in which case, how are they going to make Injustice, which is all DC characters, right? Like that's the rumor. That's like the kind of backstory here. That's owned by Warner. That didn't happen, right? That was the sort of culmination of it, at least to the best of our knowledge, that they have not been sold off, and I don't know if that's in works or anything anymore, but there's no real reporting on that.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm cleaning my windows here, and I think I might have accidentally started playing the audio of I Am Big Billy, the cat. So I don't know if you guys have seen that before, but
no idea what you're talking about, and maybe I'm cool with leaving it like that because
dude, it's an amazing video. I'll link you guys.
If it's not Injustice, maybe the thought is, according to this rumor, that it's actually Mortal Kombat 12. That they're going to go straight from MK11 to MK12. I mean, this is not unheard of for this studio, or at least for the predecessor to it, which was making like basically only Mortal Kombat games for a while before Injustice and before MK versus DC. So it wouldn't be like the first time, I guess.
That's still a Mortal Kombat game.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I mean,
it's using DC stuff. I don't know. What do you think about this? Does this have any purchase for you guys?
I mean, the thing that's confusing to me is if this is the case, there's obviously precedent out there for fighting games to live many, many years. Street Fighter being in its 6th year, Tekken 7 being on its 97th year right now. To me, it's surprising that they wouldn't just keep working on 11. However, maybe that's just because WB now officially, they officially own everything MK11. And so for them to actually keep working on Mortal Kombat, they have to start a brand new game so that everything is under their studios.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't necessarily buy that the reason they would be working on Mortal Kombat 12 is just because AT&T was talking about buying them out. I don't think you make big corporate decisions based on rumors or discussions. You don't make those decisions till the contracts are signed. At least I would imagine. I don't know, man. I don't own a giant business, but that's what I would imagine, right? So I don't buy that, but I do buy that they're working on Mortal Kombat 12. Why the hell not? Mortal Kombat 11 sold like 8 million copies. Go, collect the bag or whatever kids say nowadays. Like that makes total sense to me.
What if the Marvel rumors are true because they knew they were getting bought out, and so they're just like, you know what, let's go over.
I mean, the Marvel rumors could still be true. Obviously, we don't know anything about this, but I don't think it'd be too weird if internally they were not sure whether the studio was going to be sold. And I don't just mean NRS. I mean, like the people who, like WB. Like WB was in talks, I guess, or AT&T was at least. So there's uncertainty there. They have to be working on something. MK11's done. What is it? Maybe it's Marvel. I don't know. Or maybe it's something else that they have to scramble for. And if it seems like the stuff that they had planned to do, if it had been the plan to do Injustice, if it seemed like that wasn't going to be available, even if there's like a reasonable chance of that in the future, I could imagine them making the decision to not engage with that. I don't know. I think this doesn't seem very likely to me, I guess is my take. I don't have a great reason for that other than we previously had the rumor that the Marvel thing is happening. I don't have any info on that. I haven't read any more rumors about that, but I just think it's weird to have like a rumor like that and then a rumor like this that's just a complete 180. And nobody knows. I don't know if anybody knows anything that's behind these rumors, right? Like maybe this is just completely out of whole cloth. But one of those can't be true. And I'm already on board with the previous one as we talked about before. But, if it is Mortal Kombat 12, we got some questions on the 5-5 matchup thing that were like related to this. And so I just rolled them into this. All right, guys, say that it's Mortal Kombat 12. That's what's coming out for sure. Give me your ideal roster for Mortal Kombat 12. Name for me all of your favorite Mortal Kombat characters that you want to see in Mortal Kombat 12.
I want to see the flame guy that's on fire in the Mortal Kombat 1 pit stage. I want to see him finally be playable. I want to see Meat come back. Meat has to come back. I mean, that's a staple of Mortal Kombat. Bo Raicho, but instead of him being a human, he's just a giant floating fart this time. So that's like my dream Bo Raicho. David, who would you want to see?
Yeah, I'm looking for maybe Mocap. Mocap was a good guy.
All right. Yeah.
He was a classic from the 3D era, of course. Very important in the storyline.
Am I going to be the only one with the serious answers here? Look, bring back
probably
Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Scorpion. Obviously, the thing about it is, I think what we've been discovering with fighting games a lot of times is, a lot of fighting games out there have tried to do big roster, shakeups. And it just feels like it's never been a good idea, to be honest with you. So, I feel like bringing back a lot of the main cast is the right thing to do, right? Just make sure you have the core guys in there. Liu Kang, Kitana, not Melina. She's dead. I don't care what happened in the 11 story. She's dead, so she's not coming back. But, bring back Kung Lao, Kung Lao is for me. That's my personal one because he's likely.
He's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fan favorites like Kitana, Johnny, Sonya. I mean, there's a good list of characters in there that are in, if not literally every game, almost every game.
Cole Young, Cole Young is probably going to show up. Probably.
That would actually be cool. I would like it if Cole Young showed up.
Yeah. I really hope that character never comes back in any form of media.
I mean, he's gonna show up.
He was like one of the worst parts of one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
He's gonna display his arcana, and he's going to be able to yeah. But I mean, I think adding a bunch of new characters would work. But like I said, just make sure you do it like the Street Fighter V style, temper it with bringing back other characters. Because if you look back at it, Street Fighter 3 came out, despite what everyone might tell you, Street Fighter 3 was one of the biggest like bombs like that could possibly.
Yeah, it was the bomb, dude.
It was the bomb. It was the bomb.
You're a Street Fighter 3 player when.
I mean, a lot of people actually told me that, when Soul Calibur, switched the lot of the characters to their kids, that people weren't as interested in it as much. Characters in fighting games for beloved franchises are beloved for a reason, and it's just not a good idea. Every time you try to do a wholesale switch, whereas you have games like Virtua Fighter, which is like, hey, it's the same cast every single time, and like the players in Japan love it. So, changing your roster drastically is a bad idea. Doing a half and half, I think is the right way to go, basically. So
that's how MK11 was. MK11 was
right. Mm-hmm.
Most of the characters had been in many games. Most of the characters who were introduced in MKX were in this game, and then they brought back characters that they hadn't had in an iteration or two, like Baraka, Sindel. There's probably more of that.
Yeah.
And then they came up with how many new ones? Not that many. Garrus, Cetrion.
Sure.
Is that it? Like it's really just
RoboCop. Yeah, that's a brand.
Okay. Yeah, and then they always have their 80s action movie
Collector
and
Collector,
of course.
There you go.
Yeah.
So really only 3? It was only just the 3 then on launch, huh? Now that I think about it.
And those
really
are all launch
as
well.
3.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are just those 3. Dang, okay. But yeah, I mean, that's the right way to go.
But Gears is super cool. I think a lot of people really like that character. Cetrion is really cool. I think a lot of people don't like playing against her.
I mean, that's how I felt about Garrus at first.
She's a popular character otherwise, so she's very cool.
That's how I felt about Garrus at first. In season 1, I was not a fan.
Yeah, I remember everyone being mad about Garrus.
Collector, 5 people play him on Earth. He's a good character. Nobody's seen him in 2 years on Combat League. I don't know why. He's good and fun, but he's one of those niche characters,
Dude, he looked really buff in the most recent What If episode, but that's another story. Okay, anyways,
haven't seen
spoilers.
It yet. Okay, wow.
Spoilers.
The NK
I can't believe none of these people have seen it yet. None of you
on twitch.tv/.
None of you people have seen. That's not even a
dude.
spoiler.
I just saw the 3rd episode of Loki. I'm a little bit behind.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
okay.
David's very busy sorting his mapping globe collection. Okay.
I actually spent 2 hours creating a map for myself yesterday. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for hanging out for this first part of the Ultra 10 TV Tuesday show. We're going to have a break, and when we come back, we are going to bring on Proxy, who will be talking to us about his background, Marvel 3, Tampa Never Sleeps, and why he's going to go 0-2 on the Commentator Cup.
The Commentator Cup. I wasn't going to talk shit, but apparently that's the 0-2 call from David.
Smack already.
David's talking all this crap because he's not participating. Maybe next time it's Street Fighter 5 and a YouTube play and I just commentate with someone else.
Look, dude, I could have played in this. I wouldn't have won this, but
you could have played in it.
I mean, honestly, I was at first, I was like, come on, we all have to play, right? We have to be in this. But
funny thing, James Chen, we just had an opening on the roster because Hell Pockets has to drop out. So if you want a spot, we can give you a spot right now, James. If you want that spot, it's yours.
Let me think about it.
Okay.
No, I want the answer right now. Is James Chen in? Don't make the people wait.
Look, I haven't played the game in 3 weeks.
You got a month to practice.
You got plenty of time.
Speaking
of time, let's go to the break.
All right, let's go to break.
All right, we'll be back. welcome back everybody to the Tuesday show. We have our guest here ready to go, so let's go ahead and bring him on here. There we go. Proxy. Welcome, up, Proxy, to the Ultra Chen show, and hope you're doing well right now.
Dude, yeah, always doing well. What was it, David, what was that on the transition?
What do you mean?
I need an explanation of some kind. It's just hard body, 0-2 up front.
What do you mean? What happened? Oh, that was Brock. That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Brock is the one who usually...
I would say something like that, but we have video evidence that didn't happen.
I don't think so. I probably
Casmer, can you edit Tubo moving his mouth when when David says the O2?
Magic.
What do you mean? There's no reason to change it. That's how it already was.
Oh, I mean, right. I meant to type that in the editing chat. Right. That's right.
All right, cool. Well, hey, thanks a lot for coming on to chat with us. When we bring people on, I always think it's cool to first begin talking about like how you got into the FGC. How did you start playing fighting games? And then how did that turn into you taking fighting games competitively and seriously?
Okay, so I think the big one for me was that I started where a lot of people started. I was playing at Woodleaf Lanes in Salisbury, North Carolina, playing Marvel 2 at the bowling alley. I feel like a lot of people have that same story wherever their bowling alley is, right? So as the closest local arcade that I could play in, playing Marvel 2 there, different things like that. And I was always really into sports. Did a lot of sports, track, football, whatever it was at the times. And then my going through high school was playing a lot of Smash Brothers. I was playing Brawl for a very long time, played competitively here in Florida for a while. And my senior year of high school, I actually hurt my leg really bad. I blew out my left ankle really bad running track. And
that'll do it.
I really needed like a competitive outlet very badly. Like it was a huge missing part to me. And I had been playing Brawl so much, so I ended up stumbling over to Plan Trade in Tampa, actually, which was the store that Tong Lee, shouts to the homie Mr. Tong himself, used to own. Played a couple Brawl tournaments there. As I played in those, it was one of those ones where I was the best of my friends, was super killing myself, showed up. A single elimination tournament, 2 games in a row to someone that nobody even at the tournament knew. So it was just like a random who was better than me just randomed me out. And I was like, wow. And I was tight. I was like, I'm the type of person where when I am not immediately good at something, I usually will like feel kind of discouraged. But it was the first time where I was like, dude, that sucks. I cannot let that happen again. So it started, the fire kind of lit, started getting a little more serious. And then Street Fighter 4, man. Street Fighter 4 is what really pulled me even farther into, I guess, like the more like traditional like 2D fighter kind of archetype. I'd always played Marvel 2. I'd played a little bit of Marvel 1, but Street Fighter 4 is what really got me going. Watching, I guess, like the evolution from there. Like I think my earliest memory of spectating was like the Balrog swap. Justin versus Daigo, things like that. So like things like that are what like come to my memory when it comes to getting straight into it. So dude, after all that, it just pushed me forward.
How many stories now? I mean, we should get Glenn 2K, the game 2K, to do a stat on this, on how many of our guests here were originally sports players who have gotten an injury and gotten into video competitive gaming as a result, right? I mean,
we've had quite a few.
Yeah, because you're in that. I mean, Brock also. Yeah, that happened to me. I mean, I had already been playing games. I'm sure you'd already been playing games too. Of course, but like the more competitive focus was something that came to me after my body started falling apart. And Brock, I mean, you played competitive sports in high school as well.
Sure did.
So yeah, I think that is not an uncommon story.
I mean, clearly I was the most athletic kid at my school all the time, but at some point in time I injured my pinky toe, and then that was the end of my athletic career.
Pinky toe, that's a killer. It's a killer injury, bro.
So you were playing baseball then. I got it.
And not to interrupt the interview, but I see Jabril in the chat, and Jabril, I need to know what you did with that goddamn hat. Please tell me you threw that hat out.
You guys need to leave him alone about the
Please tell me you threw that hat out, dude.
Go, dude.
Never wear that again.
You're killing me.
What?
Well, maybe we'll talk about that when we talk about the TNS stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about that with TNS.
Yeah, okay. So You feel like the competitive side is something that you need, like whether that was sports or whether that was games. What is it about competition that is so important for you?
I don't know. I think that a lot of it was just that growing up, I had a dad. Both of my parents were both very competitive with what they did. My father was a D1 football player. My mother was a speed skater who was like good enough to qualify for the national team at one point. I have like, my family is very athletic. That's always what they've done. So I felt the need to be like, if everyone else in my family is doing these very competitive things, like standing out, like I got to do it too. Like there's no way I'm gonna let them show me up when it comes to stuff like that. So I guess it was more just watching people around me be so successful with competing made me want to do the same, like very, very badly. Success feeds success, right? Seeing other people be successful makes you believe you can do it too, right?
Actually, here's an interesting question because, I'm always curious how this works. But like, what do your parents think of the video game hobby, competing there, and playing competitive gaming like this? Do they encourage it? Do they, that their competitive spirit makes them cheer for you, et cetera, et cetera?
I think for my father mostly, he was definitely a non-believer. Thought it was a little bit of a waste of time. The more I got into it, the better that I got. He did not believe in it in the slightest until, honestly, he was not super supportive about it until commentary, when he saw that I had found something that I was like a little more successful at. Because as a player, I've made it out of pools a couple times. I'm nothing to write home about. I am a solid enough player, but I'm not winning any tournaments. But once I started to find my niche, find what I wanted to do, find the things that made me happy about it, that's when he was like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. I'm glad that you're doing it," like stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice. So how did you? What was it? Let me phrase it like this. What was it about Marvel that really attracted you to that game?
Oh, I just like how fast it is. I like how fast it is. I like the execution. I like that it's a spectator sport. I like that I can take someone who has never watched a fighting game and I can show them Marvel and it is exciting to them. They don't know why, but they just get it. Like there's this like electricity to Marvel that even if you don't understand what's going on, you understand that you're supposed to be excited about this, right? It has this like energy to it. It has an energy to it that like not a lot of other games have.
Yep.
And so just having watched a lot of like, again, I watched a ton of Marvel 2, played a lot of it back like when I was younger. So transitioning into Marvel 3 was just a super easy thing. As soon as I heard that it was coming out, that was a wrap. I already knew that I was going to be committed to it. So it was just an easy transition. And then 10 years later, I'm still rocking. Glad the game is still getting played. We say it all the time on TNS. Even if there weren't a ton of players everywhere still playing, we would still be playing. We would still be meeting up at Tong's house. We'd go into the damn hookah lounge just playing like we do. So it's nice to have more people getting to play it with us.
I mean, there's all those like projects from, fans of going and retrofitting rollback into their own games. I wonder if there's like people who might actually want to do this to Marvel 3. Because
look, man, we've tried looking into that.
Yeah.
It's not that easy. It's real hard.
Okay. Because Marvel 3 is a game that will not die for very good reasons, obviously.
We will not let it.
Yeah, and God, it would deserve it so badly. So
yeah, I was gonna say Jason is a person to talk about with that.
Yes.
He's been like spearheading these type of operations, and even just getting a model swapper in the game has been tough.
It's been very difficult. Yeah, there's been
it's not easy to mod. It is not an easily moddable game.
Then obviously it probably means that the game was not designed very well for DLC either. DLC on disc, Oh man, yeah. I don't think they knew how that worked back then. So, oof.
I'm curious if you feel like there are any similarities between why you like Marvel and why you were playing sports before injury.
I don't know. I think maybe part of it might just be, again, like kind of the electricity to it. I mean, my main sports were like mostly like football and basketball, and that's another thing where it's like when it is like clutch moments in football, you see somebody just doing whatever they do, whether it's football, basketball, any sport. Honestly, there's like moments where even if you do not know the technical side of it, you just get it. Like something is exciting, you see everyone else getting exciting, and it rises something in you. I think it's kind of the same thing with Marvel. Like I said, it's just special in that way, at least as a game.
Like some people are into fighting games for like the strategy of it or for the execution of it, but it sounds like you're in it more for the excitement of it, right? Like
I'm here for sure. I'm here for the feeling for sure.
Yeah. Now, you've been doing commentary for Tampa Never Sleeps then, right? So, and, how did you get started down the commentary road, and you said you met, Tong early on, but how did you end up in this role for Tampa Never Sleeps?
So as far as commentary goes, it really started for me as just a thing I enjoyed doing. A couple small little tournaments here and there. A huge shout out to my homie, I believe is still in chat, Mr. Admiral Funk, used to run little Mario Party tournaments, things like that. Just like little side random, I promise. Little That's side awesome. Random games all over the place. And he eventually got to the point where he was like, let's stream it. Like, we might as well put it on. Just put the stream on. And I was like, Ian, who else at this party knows this game better than me? Give me a mic right now. And it's just
I'm gonna say this right now. Commentating Mario Party has got to be one of the most fun things ever, dude. Because you would just talk so much smack to everybody. Oh God.
But yeah, it really started as that. I mean, it started out with like little random things like that, just turning the stream on so that like us and our like 10 friends that just happened to not be able to show up to the event got to watch, and we would just be like talking shit to them in the chat, talking about the mini games. People would ask questions about the games and we would explain them. And then after that, he hosted a Smash tournament. Oh my God. It was the first Smash tournament of Smash 4. It was a Thanksgiving one. He's in the chat. If he can remember the name, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, he hosted that, and they only had one person sitting down for commentary, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try. Sat down, started talking about Smash. Obviously, at the time, was just saying words. Didn't really know what was going on. Didn't really have a plan about what was happening. I just was excited to be speaking to somebody.
Just happy to be here.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, cool. I'm on camera. This is awesome. And then it really just kind of rolled from there. I've always, and I in addition to that, I've always been interested in like audio video stuff. I really like doing like I'm one of a million people on the planet that has tried to do a podcast at some point. I've just love the sound of my own voice, so anything that I can do to hear it more, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, that's so
definitely a plus if you do a podcast and like the sound of your own voice, because I actually feel like a lot of people who I know who do podcasts or who do shows don't like the sound of their own voice at all.
I think that is a thing that a lot of people struggle with, is like early on when you're listening to yourself, if you're trying to do anything in like an organized manner, I think most people are just like, oh, I really sound like that? I really sound like that. But I guess for me it was something that it didn't last very long. I saw it as like, okay, well, I don't like it, so how can I change it to like it, right? I just think about it like I think about anything else, right?
Yeah. I still don't like the sound of my own voice, but
maybe oversimplified in the way I think about it. But that's usually how I'll try my best. Obviously, you can't be exactly how you want to be all the time, but I try as much as you can to think about it in ways where it's like, this is what I don't like. How can I change it? What can we do? Right.
So wait, hang on. You actually meant it, because Admiral Funk says it was called Smash Giving, and it was literally the release of Smash 4. So you guys were, when you said like the first Smash 4 tournament, like you mean it was literally the first Smash 4 tournament.
It was like midnight release, and he rented out the pool house next to his apartment, and we played like the next day.
That's so
like,
cool.
It was like immediately, because he had big plans for that. We had all played Brawl together for a very long time. But yeah, that was like, it was straight away. He was like, I'm hosting a tournament, everybody's coming through, and every single Smash player anywhere, like just Central Florida in general, was like, bet, I'm on my way. Started driving that night. They picked up their copies, got their setups, started driving to Ian's house. So
that's so cool.
That's fun.
So talk about your commentary style. Like, how would you describe yourself on commentary? What kind of stuff do you try to get across on commentary? Like, what's your I've heard you, but I'm curious what your personality, what your take is on your personality.
I think a lot of it is mostly play-by-play. I really do like doing play-by-play. When I watch a lot of traditional esports, I watch a lot of like watched a lot of StarCraft, watched a lot of like FPS games. I was a big Halo head for a really long time. So watching people play, I guess, cast these games, I tried to, as much as possible, emulate like the FPS style in the beginning, where it's like the FPS game is very much like silence is golden when you know where to insert it, right? It's like a mastercraft in FPSs when casters know when to stop talking and let the gameplay just happen. That was like, I guess, my first thought process on it. But I'm definitely more of like a play-by-play guy, and as I've done it more, as I've like, I guess, experienced and found my niche, it's turned more into like a definitely like hype play-by-play type of person. I have a little bit of analysis here and there. I like to think of myself as like a jack of all, but definitely leaning more on the calling the action kind of side.
Yeah, for somebody who says that they got into fighting games for the excitement, I hear that in your voice. That definitely seems like it comes across.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things is I don't know. I definitely try not to do it too much when we're in like the TNS studio, but like I'm like on the edge of my chair, like standing, like oh my god, like I'm very much like a I don't know. I feel like if you are genuinely excited in what you're talking about, it comes across. Yes. So it's best to stay with things that you are actually invested in. When it comes to genuine excitement and genuine personality, the more you are manufacturing that, the easier it is to tell, I think. It's important to be yourself and do what you can. I think that's a big takeaway from a lot of the big guys in the FGC. People like Sajam, like a lot of commentators that have been successful for periods of time. Is most of them they're nothing but themselves, and you can just tell. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's true for all of the major FGC commentators. I don't think any of them is making it up. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
They, in some cases,
speak for yourself. I've made up every single word I've ever said. I'm thinking it right now, Bucko.
You've never said Bucko in your life. Oh yeah, go for it.
No, I was about to say, what other games besides Marvel have you commentated? Like, have you done any Strive commentary? Have you actually done official like Smash Brothers, like Smash event commentary or anything like that?
I have done a few Smash tournaments. I've done like I did CEO a couple years ago. Dreamland, actually the last Dreamland before like everything happened with COVID stuff like that. I was on there. Me and my homie Broza, shouts to the dude. Got to do some of the top 8 there. So I've done a bunch of Smash, whether it's CEO things like that or locals. And then Strive, yeah, TNS runs Strive. So whenever we have those tournaments, I'm definitely sitting in for those whenever I can. Looking to do as many as possible. I'm really liking Strive as a game. It's genuinely very enjoyable for me, so I'm trying to stick with it.
I mean, it's got that same kind of excitement factor that, that Marvel 3 has. So
it definitely does. So yeah, a few games here and there. I like Dragon Ball a lot. I was very invested in BlazBlue Cross Tag for a long time. It's a game that I have not been playing as often. Just because the local scene has kind of fallen off a little bit here. Obviously, again, there's COVID, things like that. But as things come back, that's definitely a game I want to touch on. I just really like versus games, DBZ, things like that.
Totally. Yeah, BB Tag is a blast.
I love BB Tag.
How did the TNS stuff start specifically with you?
For me personally, it was more just. I mean, I've told this story before on our stream. Tampa Never Sleeps kind of started as it has always been a thing. Tong branded his tournament that because. He used to host them, the different locals, things like that, in his game store. So we had to wait until the game store was closed. So they would start at like 11 p.m. Eastern, end like 4:30 a.m. So people would just like come through. It would be late night. It seemed like a fitting name at the time. So TNS kind of ran with that. Tampa Never Sleeps. It just happened to be an acronym that kind of rolls off the tongue too, which is nice. But for me personally, it was more just that I was living with Tong at the time. We were roommates. And he started streaming Marvel 3 and got on like the kind of the Parsec train and was like, I am going to do a 8-man tournament over Parsec just to see how it goes. Do you want to sit here and just like drink and talk shit to these guys while they're trying to play? And I was like, there's nothing that I would rather do in my whole life than just sit here and drink and talk shit to these guys while they try and play Marvel.
Especially Monday.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's just, I love Monday so much. But yeah, so we started doing that, and then as it progressed, more people were like, "Yo, is this an open bracket?" And we were like, "No, well, it's kind of invite only. Like, it's a small bracket." and then it turned into 16 players, and with 16 players, it was the same thing. It was like, oh, well, we'll reserve the spots for the top 3 placers, but everybody else, you're on the waiting list. Like, we don't have the logistics to run like a bigger tournament than like 16 right now. And then it just like step by step, and then it hit like over 100 at one point. We have a full TO staff now. It is just, wow. It is just everyone. It is the ultimate. If you build it, they will come. People like Tong put in an incredible amount of work to build TNS, got the Marvel rolling, and people saw that there was a playable version of Marvel Online via Parsec and stuff like that, and they could not wait. It was just, it built itself. Dude. Everybody was so ready to play.
Not to mention, we had just been put on lockdown
yes.
for the pandemic right at that time. So it kind of worked out because a lot of people were home to play on Parsec.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's about when I don't know if you guys had been doing it before, but that's when I started being aware of it and watching you guys occasionally. And I'm curious whether you agree with Tubbo. Like, was in fact like the fact that we were locked down and we like actually couldn't do some of the big games, like current modern games just couldn't be played competitively really anymore if it's only online. Do you think that whole situation had a positive impact in a way on the growth of TNS?
I think it did, if only because we had more time to invest. Obviously, like I've said, I will say it one more time before I just dote on it repeatedly. Tong Lee's the hardest working man on the planet. So he having more time to invest into it made it grow at a rapid pace, because that guy is just, when it comes to production and stuff like that, you just let the genius work and do what he says. Tong is just amazing on that. But yeah, I think it did. I think people had more time. People were interested in playing Marvel. A lot of people got to see the game more and be more interested. That and being able to play from home for the first time at like a playable connection was like a godsend to a lot of players. A lot of people don't have, like, a good example is like Living Legend. Living Legend went to locals in like Michigan and stuff like that, who is a Chris player who is just blown up. Everyone, YouTube's favorite player right now. Just so much fun to watch. He is just blown up because he didn't get to play a lot of people like that. Playing on Parsec now, he's gotten like an incredible amount of experience and gotten to just show himself off. And I don't know, I think a lot of people saw opportunities like that and were like, I can do that. I can be the one to like step up to these tournaments and win those. So I think that people having more time and seeing in lockdown that they had an opportunity to play, I think it definitely did have a pretty positive effect.
I think it's, must be mentioned, just how much Marvel 3 is such a factor in that, because everybody just, it's like, I don't know if anybody actually hates Marvel 3. Like, it feels like if anyone comes out and says, I don't like Marvel 3, like, everyone's just gonna, like, kick them out of the FGC or something. Like, I feel like it's like a right.
Yes, they should be.
Yeah.
I know people who don't like playing Marvel 3, but I don't know anybody who doesn't like watching it, at least.
Exactly. And I think it, maybe the pandemic was a part of it, but honestly, I just think how excited everybody's been to be able to play Marvel 3. I mean, look at, we had Ray on here before, and he was just talking about how he was like, oh my God, I can play Marvel 3 online, It's like...
I mean, in some cases, depending on how you are, your connection can be better. If you're playing on PC and you have less than 20 ms connecting to servers, you're like playing PS4 offline, because PS4 has the native lag to it. So you're like, in some cases, you're playing like normal PS4. It's just, it's unreal to think that like in this year we get to play online Marvel that's like really, really good, actually.
This Marvel doesn't feel good. It feels like it has too little lag. Oh, man.
So with Strive, you are in the Commentator Cup. Thanks a lot for playing. That's super cool.
Of course.
Right. So tell us how much you're going to get bodied 0-2, like David said you were going to go. Right? So,
yeah, I heard Tubboware said that you were going 0-2.
Tubbo. When Tubbo said you were going 0-2.
Yeah, okay, well, I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty confident here. I've got, I think that, I do believe that I'm the only Potemkin player in the bracket. Which is a nice addition there.
Automatically, I'm rooting for you now. So
I mean, everybody has a plan until I'm plus 19 and I BRC forward. So we'll find out what, I'm saying? Like, we'll see what happens there. Don't get thrown, that's all it is. And can I just say, I just got to do it. I know you said, obviously, like individual people, you'd love to talk. what is Sharpie's problem with as the only grappler player in the bracket? I feel like I have to defend the honor of the grapplers against Sharpie. Sharpie has this hatred towards the grapplers, and this is just, I gotta be the hero. I gotta show everybody that it's not as bad as you think. You can come to this side and you can just kill people in 2 interactions. Why
not as bad as you think, but it is
what
bad.
A seller.
It's not quite that bad.
I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. It's a little bad, but
there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who don't like grapplers these days. They're getting a really bad reputation. I mean, these characters used to always be known as the struggle characters. And then there's some people, maybe even on this show, who don't believe grapplers are the most honest, footsie-based, and hardworking characters in all of fighting games.
Well, all 3 of us, actually, I guess all 4 of us right now, play characters with command grabs. So I don't know who you could be talking about, but we've all made the choice to play characters who have command grabs. Fact.
I mean, that's like I feel that side as well, though, because in Guilty Gear I've played Axel in every game he was selectable until this one. This is my first foray into Potemkin in Guilty Gear, at least. So I was all Axel all the way through until here. I just saw the way he plays and I was like, finally. This feels really good to me.
Dude, you're like the East Coast Octopimp, man. Like you voice Axel, but you play Potemkin, and now like you've been playing. You know, it's like it's weird.
Yeah, why the change? I mean, I play zoners and grapplers myself. That's what I always do. But is that historically the case for you?
I have I just like big normals. To be completely honest, for every game, I just like characters that have a simple game plan and large normals, because I have a tendency to overthink situations. So if I do not have to think as much about what I am inputting, I can think more about the overarching game plan, and it will stop me from
grapplers playing. Saying they don't want to think. What a surprise!
Hang on,
hey, relax,
you
relax.
meant grapplers have to think a lot, and you like thinking a lot.
That's not what I was just told. I was literally just told the opposite by a grappler player.
Listen, I'll tell you. I'll say, like I always say, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. I have to play a character that it is. I have a simple tool kit in front of me because it helps me use my brain more.
I love the explanation that in order to be as smart as possible, you have to keep yourself dumb. This is actually so genius.
Dumb. You are okay. Well, okay.
No, I'm giving you a compliment. I'm not joking. I like the formulation a lot. I think that's a super cool way to put it.
Yeah, I mean that's how I think about it. Like a good example is like my in Marvel, I play Nova. I need something that is I have 3 things that my character does exceptionally well, and I have other options that I can mix in, but I need it to be I need the spread to be a little thin so that I can use this more. This is my strength. This up here is my strength. So if I do not give myself time to access it, I will fail greatly.
Actually,
I really like that perspective. I think that's super cool.
It's just
I mean, Zonin Freely actually, I mean, he might even be joking about it, but turning off your brain is an actual skill, I promise you, is absolutely true.
It is.
It is 100% true.
Sandwich.
It is the reason why I couldn't play Makoto in Third Strike. I mean, honestly, like, people always told me that I couldn't play her because I just wasn't random enough. You know, that kind of player worked really, really well, you know, doing crazy things. Like, you're like, why would you do this? But that's the kind of player that goes into the Makoto, you know, the Makoto Third Strike strategy.
Well, speaking of player types, is there anybody, now that you obviously know your competition, is there anybody you're worried about in Commentator Cup? Is there anybody you don't want to run into?
Nope. To be honest, no.
Everybody can get the status. That's how you feel.
I am a firm believer. A wise man once told me, if you can get 1, you can get 3, and I know that I can get 1 on anyone. So,
you're not worried about a Sajam.
I'm capable.
You're not worried. You're not worried about a Ryan Hunter.
Nope.
You're not worried about a Clage.
Nope. I'm capable of beating anyone. I know that I'm good enough to get 1, and if you can get 1, you can get 3. If you think about it any other way,
who do you think you'll be seeing in grand finals then?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I would. Let's think.
Wow.
Who do I think I will fight in grand finals? Let me look.
A lot of people are talking up this Sajam character.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Sajam's the guy.
But we don't know how his character is going to look come September 17th. All right.
Oh my God, that's right. That's right.
Okay, let me just say, I have also been practicing Axel. So if something happens to Potemkin and Axel gets super buffed, it's on deck, it's ready. But I have a lot of confidence that we're not going to get Arxist, and our grapplers are going to stay safe. Please keep him safe. I need him.
Do not nerf Garuda, please. Do not nerf Garuda.
Dude, he needs it so bad.
He needs
it. You guys are right. I hope they keep it.
I'll keep it real with you. It is so good. It is one of the best moves in the game in terms of usage.
100%.
He needs it.
He does.
I agree with you guys.
I mean, honestly, if you took that away, I think Potemkin would be awful. Like, this is me straight up just, like, talking the truth right here. Unless you made it so that, you know, Mega Fist and Hammerfall were not punishable again, you know, kind of thing. But, which I almost would be willing to trade, to be honest with you.
I don't know, dude.
Garuda's pretty freaking good.
There's a certain freedom that putting Garuda on someone and then RCing forward and then bursting, that's a feeling I want to chase, James. I want to get burst on I want to BRC forward and someone knows the situation is so bad they're like, it's worth my burst. I need to keep that. I need to keep that, please.
I think that's cool. All right. So please talk about where people can find you, watch you, etc.
Oh, of course. Well, it's Proxy TCG on Twitter, on Twitch. I do streams fairly frequently. I do a lot of Strive, a lot of Marvel, a lot of DBZ. Play a little FPS here and there, a little variety streaming. But yeah, it's those are the main places that you guys can catch me. That and on Tampa Never Sleeps, twitch.tv/Tampa Never Sleeps. Fridays, Mondays, sometimes in between. We have Strive, we have Marvel 3. We have live events that we go to. Obviously, ATL in Chicago were big successes, so we're looking to go across the globe. If there are Marvel players somewhere, we're trying to go find them. So
the TCG part of your name, does that mean you used to play a lot of trading card games, or?
I was a competitive Magic and Pokemon player for a very long time.
Okay.
A lot of card games. Played a lot of card games.
Well, I mean, I asked this to everybody. Where did the Proxy part of your name come from? I always ask people about their handles. Like, where did Proxy come from?
Do you play TCGs, James? Do you play any card games?
Tekken is the first card game that I've ever played. I intentionally avoided Magic to not kill my wallet back in high school.
Completely fair, super reasonable. I kind of wish I'd done the same. Super reasonable. In physical card games, when you are, a lot of people do it when they're testing like So obviously cards in games can cost up to obviously on the high end, like $200. Sometimes they're like a quarter. When you are putting in a card that is like a placeholder that's just representing something, like you want to test it without doing it, it's called a proxy.
Right.
So it's like a placeholder card that kind of fills the space that you can test before that you buy, kind of those shop it before you spend the money.
Can't do that on these digital card games, exactly. Man. So
in physical card games, a lot of the times when you test, if you have a pod that you play with quite often, if you're going to a big tournament, everybody needs to test against a deck, even if you're not playing it. So proxying it out is the best way to do it. So somebody will write out all the physical cards, like representations of the cards, and then play like a dummy deck, like a proxy deck of it. So that is actually where that came from. It comes from my my TCG background.
So I mean,
Makes
but
sense.
like, were you a proxy or just like, did you use a lot of proxies? I mean, is that just like, how did you get associated?
That was kind of my role in playing with the pod that I played with. I was playing for a shop locally here in Florida called it was Serenity at the time, and we were traveling to different regions, stuff like that. And I was kind of the person that would take it on themselves I would learn to play all the other decks so that people could practice stuff. That's been a role that I took for that group. So kind of always had proxies, yeah.
So you were just the human proxy, and there you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of how it works, you know.
That's amazing.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. Appreciate it.
Of course. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys having me be here. Please play Marvel 3. It's a great game. It's never too late. Please play that game. Please play that game. We need more. Everyone needs to play this game.
Yes, agreed.
Sounds good. All right, man. Later.
All right. Thank you to Proxy for coming up in here and going to be one of the 16 contestants on there. And if he is indeed the only grappler in there, he is clearly the smartest and the most hardworking player in the Commentator Cup.
I can't believe all three of you are sitting there saying Garuda shouldn't be. What is wrong?
Totally fine. I hope they don't nerf it at all.
I can't roll my eyes harder.
Cool. Let's move on to the next one.
5-5 matchup. Now, interestingly enough, well, let me go ahead and do this first. We did not get a lot of 5-5 questions, and some of them, like you said, were rolled into some of the topics over here. Yeah. So this is all we have for the 5-5 matchup here. 3 questions. Do you want to just answer all 3 of them, or do you still want to do the vote? What do you want to do?
Let's do the vote.
Let's do the vote. Okay. All right.
We got to give our subs their ability that they get to use every week, right?
Absolutely. I'm not eating barbecue sauce. I'm eating homemade chocolate ice cream, folks. Homemade, professional pastry chef designed chocolate ice cream. And
I feel like that would take more effort than it's worth.
So good.
And you should just pay for it.
I actually kind of hate you right now, David, because that sounds amazing.
You are correct about that. I think my favorite of the ones that have been made recently by this particular pastry chef is actually the oat milk ice cream. I think that one was like
oat milk ice cream.
All right. We move on.
Number one.
What custom rule would you add to a tournament of your favorite fighting game to make it as agonizing as possible for everyone involved? Number 2, should fighting games, current and future, start looking to make their games with high frame rates in mind, like 120 FPS, or should we stay with 60 FPS as the gold standard? For team tournaments, do you think fighting games should have systems that preserve players' health, meter, etc. between matches? Could this make team battles more organic, like in Smash, where stock counts are preserved? Cool. Do you have the voting ready to go?
Mark. Yep. Exclamation mark 1, 2, and 3. You can type in there. If you are a sub, you can type in 2 votes and it'll count both of them. I think it just counts the last 2 that you put in there. And so we are running through here. Interesting. Number 1 is pulling ahead here. Although number 2 is now, actually, I should just do this like a dog. Number 1 is in the lead right now. Number 2 trying to pull up. Number 1 now pulling him up a much bigger lead. But here comes number 2. Look at this burst right here. It is catching up. Number 3, unfortunately, is falling far behind. And number 2 now is neck and neck with number 1. They are basically tied. And number 2 has taken the lead at this point in time. It is trying to pull forward. Let's see if number 3 can get any speed at this point in time. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's going to be number 1 and number 2. And number 2 is going to take it by just a hair. Congratulations to number 2. So we'll do
hairy number 2 burst forth. Thanks, James. Got it.
Number 2 and number 1. I'm actually kind of glad number 2 was there because it's a really, really interesting topic, in my opinion. So
I'm a big fan of number 2 also.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys go first here. What do you guys say about that?
Well,
David?
Okay, should fighting games, current and future, start looking to make their games with high frame rates in mind, like 120 FPS, or should we stay with 60 FPS as the gold standard? I guess I don't have strong thoughts on this, to be honest. I mean, in my mind, we get questions sometimes that my take on it is just that it's like either way, and I don't really have an important feeling on it. If it stays as 60 as the gold standard, that's totally fine. We are pretty established in that. We know how that works. It's been like that for a long time. And we now have faster frame rate monitors. Some of us are doing that. And so like we know how it goes when that is the case. Like this is explored territory. What if it were 120 FPS? I think we would just adapt to it quickly. So I guess I feel like either we stick with the same thing or it's an easy adaptation to something else. I don't know. I kind of don't care, I guess, is my conclusion.
Yeah, that's kind of why I let you talk first, because I agree with the last thing you said. I really don't care.
Like, I'm
60
not
frames
playing on
per
100.
second looks great. Like, it's smooth. It feels good to play on. 120 frames per second would be the same. Like, at the end of the day, I just want the game to feel great and to look great. I would probably feel better about 60 frames per second being the standard, only because I don't imagine consoles being able to run every new fighting game that comes out for the next 7 years at 120 frames per second. That's the only reason I want like console and PC to be the same. That's it. That's the only reason I would care about it. Otherwise, I don't give a shit as long as the game feels good.
Like,
yeah,
to me,
I mean, if people are thinking that like it being 120 frames per second would change the gameplay a lot, like, is that the
I don't think it would.
Because I don't
think it would.
yeah, I don't really understand.
So
why,
I think this is just
maybe
kind
I'm
of like
missing it.
kind of going with what Arturo's been trying to do. And holy crap, I saw him recently, and dude, this man is this is all he talks about. Like, he just talks about refresh rate. Like, you just walk up to him and be like, hey, Arturo, how are you doing? 300 hertz. Like, that's basically all that happens when you're talking to him at this point in time. I mean, shout out to Art. I love that guy. But, obviously it would make it so that, for me, this kind of delves into a different kind of question, because if we get to 120 hertz, 120 frames per second kind of games, for example, how does that affect us with our frame data? This is actually kind of an interesting topic to me, because now all of a sudden everything that's currently 3 frames is a 6-frame move. Is it a 5-frame move? I'm not sure. Like, which half do you jump onto?
That's not how that works, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about porting an existing game into something like that, maybe there's a question there. Although I'm not sure that it's true.
Yeah, I mean, like, so just because
for a game, it would just be like whatever the move is.
Right, exactly. But here's the concern now. If you're talking about Tekken 8, and you're like, yeah, so standing 1 is 20 frames. And then you go and talk about Tekken 7, you're like, standing 1 is 10 frames. Does that start getting kind of weird? Like, does that create like this weird, bizarre...
That's not how that works, though. Like, just because more frames per second are displayed doesn't mean that there's more frames of animation per move.
Right.
So a 3-frame jab is always a 3-frame jab.
If that's what we decide to do. But see, that's kind of what I'm thinking about in this question. Maybe this person is even talking about making it so now games are processing as 120 frames per second. So you do end up with the same time being doubled the frames, right? Obviously, you can have a 60 frame per second processed frame data kind of thing, but are we going to lock ourselves into that? Why would we? You know, is there a potential for us to want to try to do something different? Like, if you are literally displaying things at 120 frames per second, why wouldn't you make the game process in 120 frames? Right? Is there a reason why we want to stick with 60?
I don't know enough about game dev to say. Like, I can't give an educated answer on that at all, and I don't want to act like I know and then get blown up later in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, because that's the thing to me is, you know, if we decide to do that, let's say a game does decide to actually process things in the 120 frames per second so that a frame is now 1/120th of a second, like Investigation Code is putting out in the chat. If that's how we start doing frame data, this is an interesting question, because do we now translate the frame data? We've kind of had a little bit of weirdness with this, where how, you know, in Third Strike, Chun-Li's crouching light punch is a 2-frame light punch in old terms, but it's a 3-frame light punch in modern terms. And a lot of times we've kind of been translating the Third Strike ones over to modern frame data terms. If we actually do start processing games at 120 frames per second, do we start because it's going to sound weird. Like Tekken 7 standing 1 is 10 frames, and in Tekken 8 it's 20 frames. And it's just going to start sounding weird. Like, it feels like it takes twice as long, but it's actually the same amount of time.
Really good point in the chat. If we do have these games running natively at 120 frames per second, that's way more intensive on rollback. That's way rougher on the CPU of your console or PC or whatever you're playing on. So maybe for the sake of netcode, that could be a really bad idea.
Right. I mean, let's just put it this way. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. I think fighting games are going to be stayed processing at 60 frames per second for a very, very long time. I'm just saying, like, this is something that I just, I always think about these things, about maintenance kind of thing. It's why when, 3 years before the cross-up came out, I was like, what if this happens, Tekken players? And they're like, we don't care. And nobody said anything. Then the cross-up came out and all the Tekken players were like, oh shit, what do we do? Like,
that's because they didn't realize back then it could change everything.
Right.
They're just like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter.
So, I mean, like I said, I just like to think that way. And, it's something that is a very fascinating concept to me, which is kind of why I was glad we got to talk about this one, because I'm really fascinated how that transition will happen. Because obviously we're going to get to the point where rollback processors and rollback on 120 frames is going to be whatever. But once that happens...
Well, maybe also the tech needed to run the games moves with the technology. I mean, that's generally what's happened throughout time,
Right, exactly.
You can't just assume that modern games will be able to be ran at, 120 frames per second.
But that's my point. We're going to assume that it's going to get there eventually. And so when it happens, for me, the fascination comes down to what do we do as a community to start translating? Do we actually start translating old games into 120 frames? Kind of a 120th of a frames just to make things universal across games. It's fascinating. I don't have an answer. I don't lean one way or the other. It's just something that, crosses my mind and is like, this is a really interesting topic. I hadn't thought about this for the future, and it's just something kind of neat to think about.
I think I'm pretty good in general at trying to find the interest. Like, I feel like it's almost never the case that I'm like, this topic's boring. Like, whatever somebody's talking about. Almost never happens for me.
So you just blacked out there, huh?
I just feel like the actual answer is we'll just call things in the number of frames that they are in the games that they're in. Like, that's just the answer that we'll do. And I don't know if it's to me, I don't see the interest, to be perfectly honest. Like, we'll just do the thing and we'll adapt, and that's all it will be. I don't know. Whatever. Hopefully it'll be cool, I guess. All right, let's move on.
All right, moving on.
All right.
James is like, I see how it is.
I mean,
you can talk about your stupid maps for 30 minutes, but we can't talk about frame data. All right.
Yeah, I know, right? Because, I mean, even old NES games, which ran on 30 frames per second, I think are talked about in 60 frame per second numbers now. For speedrunning and stuff like that. I think someone can... confirm with me there. I don't know if 30 frame per second NES games are talked about in 30 frames per second. Or
when I watch SGDQ and stuff like that, which is really the only time that I am dealing with speedrunning, I think they typically do say that they'll be like, this is a 1 frame trick and this game runs 30 frames per second. I feel like I've heard that before.
Okay.
Anyways. Okay, we go on to the next one, which is number 1. Okay, what custom rule would you add to a tournament of your favorite fighting game to make it as agonizing as possible for everyone involved? Oh, big jerkery time, huh?
I mean, here's the thing, right? Obviously, you can say a lot of things like you have to play with your joystick upside down, stuff like that. Like, but I'm curious, like, do they want something that's like more practical to make it annoying, or can we just be as crazy as possible and just say, like, you have to play the game while swimming in a pool full of piranhas?
I feel like they should have to actually be able to play. Like, you should be able to still focus on the game. Because it's a tournament after all, right?
Right. Death by points, Infinity Stone.
But
I got you.
Maybe while you're playing, Poke Chop just talks shit the entire time with like Mr. All Caps and Tupperware on each side of you, and we're all just talking mad shit while you just completely make it agonizing for them. Just they will not want to be there type stuff.
That would be the slowest run tournament of all time because nobody could play a match unless you guys were there, and you guys would have to be yelling constantly. You would need breaks. Like that alone would be agonizing in terms of how slow it goes.
It'll be an eight player infight.
Right.
I think that's what I would do. I'll just have like the loudest shit talkers in the FGC just like inches from you going at you.
I don't know. I feel like any way you slice the games that I really enjoy, I mean, if we're gonna add outside stuff like that, it could suck for sure. But I guess what I read this as is more like in the way that the tournament operates, or in the way that the game's rules are set. Because some games allow you to set a lot.
Like turn on items in Smash. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. Even in that case, there are people who think that playing with items on in Smash is cool. So I don't know that you could. I think it would be a real challenge to find.
I'll just use that for an example. That's not that agonizing.
Right. But I'm saying I think it would be a real challenge to find a rule that would make it as agonizing as possible for everyone involved. I think that would actually be pretty tough. Even if you were to play a slow tournament, I know people who like playing in slow tournaments because that gives them stuff to do in between. It gives them time to like go get food or whatever. Like people have a lot of different opinions out there.
I mean, one of the obvious ones would be the entire tournament is first to 100.
Jesus.
I mean, that would be about as agonizing.
Weeks to complete.
That would be as agonizing as possible, right?
Yeah, we're playing a year-long tournament at that point, right?
Yeah.
Every weekend. All right, cool. It's round number 2, 2 months into it.
I'd say every new round is a new balance patch. Jesus.
Right.
Like, you would go well into the life of the game doing that. That would be ridiculous.
Oh, man. I mean, otherwise, if you want to do ones that, like, are fun, like, enjoyable, gimmicky ways to do it, I would say your opponent gets to set your buttons. As long as all the buttons are available, your opponent always gets to set your buttons.
Wow.
That was a mystery game thing at some point.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that definitely happened before. Felt bad for those people.
One time I won a tournament in HDR, which had a glitch that randomly redid your buttons live during the match at the time. I won a tournament where my buttons got flipped in the middle of the match. Yeah, that was a win, baby. All right, my roundhouse turned into like fierce or something. I don't know.
That was also a stone in the battle for the stones.
That's right.
You redeemed some stone, you got to set like one of their buttons. Oh my.
Yeah, that was a set of ideas.
Yeah, that sure was.
As agonizing as possible for everyone involved, I think would be tough. I think in almost every configuration, you would find people, even in that case, so you get to change my buttons. That's cool. I've practiced with all sorts of different stuff. Somebody out there has done that. Somebody out there is like, what if I put this button on this other side? For sure. Most people haven't, but that one person's going to show up to the tournament of 2,000 people and be like, oh, really? That's the rule? Oh, I win. I'm in. Like, somebody's going to be stoked about that.
Oops.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say about that.
Messed up this thing over here. We do not.
James broke the stream. So
okay, no, because the next topic that we have on the list up here is 5-5 matchup Ultra Chen, but that doesn't actually exist. So I've just deleted it off of the thing now, and it no longer exists. There we go.
Yeah, but I've seen tournaments where people, like what she's describing in chat, we did a MK9 tournament at GGA where you got to select your opponent's character. Yeah, I know some scenes that used to do that just to help each other practice and get used to more stuff. But
oh dang, even a practical reason for it as opposed to just like, oh, that's cool. Actually, that's neat. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next topic here. Miyako.
I'm curious, like if you're watching this and you have an idea for a rule that would make it as agonizing as possible for everyone involved, I'm curious what that might be. Like, come up with
that in the YouTube comments. Put that in the YouTube comments.
You have to play the fighting game with your feet. You know, I mean, like, there's just like
I've seen it. I've seen something ridiculous. Yeah. I've seen people do it.
Right. I mean, we've seen crazy things. Like, we could say everybody has to play fighting games on a body pillow controller, but you know, like literally, we've seen people do it. So
everybody's got to play one-handed. I've seen it. I've seen people do it. I think it's hard. I think it's hard to answer. All right, let's move on.
Like sitting on a board of nails, but I'm sure there's some yoga people out there who could do that and not suffer, right? So,
all right, we move on.
Miyako Arima was revealed as the next character for Melty Blood type Lumina. What do you guys think?
See the trailer?
I did watch the trailer very briefly, but not in great detail. So
brief trailer.
Yeah.
It was like
right.
Oh, well, if we're going by those regards, then yes, I strolled past it on Twitter and I saw like 15 seconds of it. But no, I have not watched the whole thing.
Okay, well, it's pretty short. All right. I watched it. I think this game looks fun. She looks like a fun character. It looks she's got a command grab. She looks like she has... people were describing her as like, what if she's like kind of Makoto-ish. I don't have enough experience with previous Melty games to talk about how she's been in the past. If so, I just don't know. But that I could see that she had a command grab. What it looked like. She looked like she had like a Hayate thing. She looked like she had a cross-up business, and she was pretty fast and mobile, and look cool. Probably not the character I'm gonna end up playing, but she seems like she's got some fun stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things because honestly, all three of us don't have a lot of Melty Blood background, and I apologize to all the Melty Blood fans out there that we can't get all like, oh my god, this character's back! I love the character. And I wish we could, but unfortunately, we just don't have that history because I don't even know which characters are new or which characters are returning. Have they all been returning characters? Et cetera.
I'm not sure, James.
Right, and that's the thing, right? And so I really do apologize to the Melty Blood fans out there. Wish we could have a little more information on it, but none of us just have that background with the game, sadly. So, so far, okay.
So far, according to Arima. All right.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Notima. That's actually cool.
Fun. I think her gameplay looks like it's interesting. I continue to be like really underwhelmed at how the game looks. That's not that big of a deal to me. I've certainly played games that I am not in love with how they look, so it's not going to stop me from trying it out. But
I mean, is it graphically or is it just is it aesthetics or is it the action? Because when you look at this one and then you look at the previous Melty Bloods, like this game looks like the sprites are so much more deep. Like the game looks fantastic.
Well, I mean, some of the animations look cool, I think, but I guess I'm talking about like the art style.
Right, the aesthetics of it, right?
Yeah,
the character designs.
When the characters are moving, when they're playing, when they're doing stuff, they look fun to me.
Animations are great, but everything looks gray in the game to me for some reason. I don't know, like
washed out kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like there's a weird. Like a Silent Hill fog over the front of the game. It's really hard to explain, but yeah, that's how I feel too. It just feels kind of, or just doesn't pop to me. Like the animation and the gameplay looks to me like it should pop like a BB Tag or a Marvel game, but it doesn't. Like the colors just don't hit me like that, or I don't know what it is. But yeah, I agree. It looks a little washed out, or I know
what you mean. I know what you mean. It feels like every time I see the game, it's just blue and gray.
yes. Lots of like navy colors. Correct. Yeah. And tan. If you love tan, let me tell you, if you like pavement color, this game is but it does look really fun though. Like in all seriousness, it does actually look super fun to me.
Yeah.
I'm contemplating trying it out.
I mean, one of the coolest things is that because this game is coming out, because it has rollback, I've had a lot of people tell me that they were like, okay, I'm going to try this out. This is going to be my first Melty Blood game. I'm going to play it.
Right.
And so let me go play the previous one to learn the mechanics and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the best things is that it really is opening up Melty Blood to a lot of people. And, hopefully it does. I mean, I would be more than happy to have Melty Blood become this big, huge thing, even if I have no knowledge of the game, like it'd be great to see the scene explode.
The more fighting games, the better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like if it can have the kind of amazing rise like the Under Night franchise did, growing, getting into Evo and everyone discovering that the game is really sick. I think that's really cool. So.
Yep.
Okay.
I've said this before, but I feel like a lot of my favorite fighting games I don't think look great, actually. Only a couple of them I think look great, so it's not a big limiter for me.
Right.
Okay, next topic here. couple of Gamescom things, just real short. There's going to be new KOF info coming this week during Gamescom. I don't know what exactly that's going to be, but it's probably characters, I guess. Hopefully it's more than that, but
dude,
I guess we'll see.
All of us are just like, please show us actual gameplay with UI elements and stuff like that.
Throw the damn UI, cowards.
Yeah, because I mean, so far we still haven't seen any mix between the blue aura mechanic and the purple stuff, and like, is there going to be advanced and special, like there was in 98? Like, there's just so many questions, and at this point in time, we're just hoping for something at Gamescom. So,
So that should be the news coming out tomorrow. There are leaks as well for King of Fighters 15. We're not going to be talking about the content of those leaks. If you are
anybody in the chat
sees, you can look into it yourself, but please don't talk about it in the chat.
If anybody tweets it in there, puts it in the chat or anything like that, please time the person out if you are a mod in the chat. So
we've talked about this in the past, but none of us like leaks at this point. It's not like exciting anymore to find a leak out. I'd rather find out in this game is actually maybe not a great example of this, but in general, I'd rather find out in the way that like the people actually publicize or publishing the game are intending to talk about.
How do you really feel, David? How do you really feel?
Not a great example of that, I guess, but that's what I'd prefer even still. So hold off, please.
But then there's also going to be some Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl information as well.
Goddamn right there is. They're announcing 2 new characters that have not been seen yet. And I hope those 2 new characters are named Ren and Stimpy.
Imagine that they have a game that is Nickelodeon characters and they already have Powdered Toastman in there and they don't have Ren and Stimpy. Unbelievable.
Well, the cover of the game has a silhouette of a bunch of the characters, and Ren and Stimpy are very clearly visible in that silhouette. Okay. So I'm just taking a guess since it's 2 of them. They're going to announce them together tomorrow. Yeah, that's a guess. It's a guess.
Yeah.
What if Ren and Stimpy are like the ice climbers, and they're the same character?
That's what I said a while ago. Didn't we have this talk when the game got announced? I said Ren and Stimpy should be ice climbers, and I think David said 2 other characters like Phil and Lil.
Phil and Lil should be ice climbers. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Ren and Stimpy should be ice climbers.
Yeah. So, if they are, then they could also release maybe like Korra, who's obviously a silhouette on the cover as well.
Yeah.
What if it's not Stimpy? What if it's Sven Hoek? Ren's cousin who acts and looks exactly like Stimpy. What about that? You don't know what these characters shadows are. You don't know what they are.
I would be very, very surprised. That would be a dope character skin for Stimpy.
That would actually be a sick skin. Yeah,
that would be really cool.
I'm with you. Cat Dog would be cool.
Cat Dog should be 2 separate characters, I think. So
that would be really funny. That would be really funny. Just as a reminder,
have a really long.
Yeah, I know, right? They just go whichever direction they want.
Yeah,
and they're just fighting. And if no one else is using the other side, then it just sits there on the floor, and you just stretch from it the whole time.
That would be so cool, you guys. As a reminder, the currently revealed characters are SpongeBob, Patrick, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Nigel Thornberry, Powdered Toast Man, Sandy Cheeks, Oblina, Lucy Loud, Lincoln Loud, Helga, Reptar, Zim, and Danny Phantom.
The next 2 characters revealed are just going to be the other 2 turtles. Watch.
They should probably be in there, right? They don't even have.
Oh, they've already been announced. They've already announced all 4.
Oh, they announced all 4?
I'm pretty sure they announced all 4. Yeah.
Oh, did I miss it? Okay.
They did a tweet thing on their Twitter that said, "Here's the announced cast," and I'm pretty sure it listed all 4, but I could be wrong. Man. I don't know. I'm old. I'm 33.
Yeah, totally. You are old. And I mean, it would be weird if they had only those 2 turtles instead of the actually good turtles. Like they don't have Donatello or Raph in there.
No, the good turtles are in there, dude. Actually, the best turtle is in there. That's all I'll say.
Michelangelo, amazing.
No, come on, Leonardo is the best, dude.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one.
Ooh. Right. We should have asked Proxy about this.
We should have, yeah.
We should have asked him about this.
All right, Proxy, hop back in the chat.
Yeah,
that would have been interesting. All right, well, here's the news. So Magic the Gathering has Universes Beyond, and there's like extras outside of the universe things that they do. And coming to Magic, here's the tweet. Some of your favorite Universes Beyond are coming to Magic the Gathering. Players will be diving into the worlds of Warhammer 40K, Lord of the Rings, Fortnite, and Street Fighter. Wow. And it's got a picture of Chun-Li doing her lightning legs.
I mean, look, they already said Fortnite, right? What do they need to mention Street Fighter for? Because
they have a picture of a Fortnite character.
Exactly.
Up there.
Exactly. Yo, what is going on?
What do you think about Street Fighter coming to MTG?
Look,
I think I'm very happy for people that play Magic and Street Fighter. Oh, I mean, I'm sure there's some crossover there, but it's some of this promotional stuff is so weird to me. Like how we were talking about how Street Fighter 2 is always the game that's pushed when it's 30 years old. Like it's just some of this crossover stuff is so odd to me, man. I know that there's a lot of trading card game players in the FGC, so maybe this one makes a little more sense, but like when I think of like fiery-eyed dragons, I don't think of Chun-Li. You know, it's just really, it's out there. It's out there.
What do you think of Ryu doing a move that's called Dragon?
No.
Do you think about that?
I thought about any fighting game character. When I think of dragons, it's Liu Kang because of his animality in Mortal Kombat 2.
That makes sense.
It was also his... No, that wasn't even an animality in Mortal Kombat 2. That was just a fatality. Animalities didn't exist till Mortal Kombat 3, I'll have you know.
Oh, all right.
Laying down the old law.
The old MK law.
It's so funny to look through the Twitter replies.
The tweeters.
Because I was curious, like, are people... Is this good? Probably.
Is this
like,
good?
I don't know. And then, I mean, I haven't played Magic in 20 years. I guess 25 years probably. And there's a lot of negativity in the Twitter replies.
Really?
That's probably to be expected, just because like that's true for Twitter.
Wait, yeah, I know. I was about to say there's negativity on Twitter. What?
Yeah. But some people were just like, this is silly. Like we like the Magic the Gathering universe, and other people are like, Magic the Gathering has done this stuff, and it's whatever. There's like back and forth. But
really wish, even though I've never played Magic the Gathering, I still wish I had the entire set of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms characters in Magic the Gathering, because there was a crossover one time where they just put a bunch of them in there. Like I think Lu Bu had a card, and Cao Cao had a card. Like I wish I had that whole set. I'm sure it's worth probably way too much money at this point, but I think that would just be sick just to have them, honestly.
Well, Warhammer has deep lore. Lord of the Rings has deep lore. Street Fighter has lore, maybe. What about for Fortnite? Like, is
Hugo
Jonesy
wants to be
there?
Hugo wants to be a potato.
Yeah, it has lore. I'm not gonna call it deep. But what's Fortnite's lore? Like, there is Fortnite lore. It exists. It's out there. I'm just curious. Is like Jonesy's there and he's like traveling through time and space or whatever? Like, it's just not
Good old Jonesy.
Good old Jonesy, as you guys know, famous Jonesy. He is famous. He's a very famous video game character now.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure he is, right? It's just like just like Halo, right? Halo is a big important character in the series, right?
Halo of the eponymous Halo series.
Yeah, exactly.
Halo, the character,
exactly.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, just like using like the main character Metroid of the Metroid series, right?
Dude, Metroid is such a cool character. Yeah. Right? I've never beaten it all the way through, so I don't know if there's a reveal at the end of it or something. But Metroid is a cool character. It's a cool dude.
Exactly, and Kid Icarus is awesome. Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Kid Icarus.
Well, there's the lore. There's the Magic the Gathering. We'll have Street Fighter. I don't know which characters are coming, but I guess we'll find out.
Chun-Li is coming.
Halo.
What?
No, someone said good old John Halo.
Yeah, good old John Halo, yeah.
What's up, everybody? My name is John Halo.
Master Chef.
He's a master chef.
We move on now to talk about some tournaments that happened.
Tekken A Masters.
That's correct. Did you get the CPT up there? Maybe not.
Oh no, I did not get the CPT up there. Sorry.
Wow.
After this, that's cool.
Okay.
Just briefly, not a lot to say. I mean, we're not trying to.
Right.
If you want to delve into tournament results, watch Best of 5. They do a great job of that. But there was some stuff that we wanted to briefly talk about. Tekken Online Challenge Masters event for North America happened. This is their, one of their majors in the online world that we live in. I thought it was cool that Joey Fury is the one who won it. Equinox Joey Fury took the thing.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Arda. Yeah, and in looking over the results, obviously there are a lot of strong NA players, and I don't keep up super strongly with the scene, but I didn't actually know quite a few of the people who made top 8. So shout outs if that means that there is an up and coming part of the Tekken scene that I'm just not as familiar with. I think that's super cool. Hopefully it does mean that.
Okay.
That's all. But during the same one, whatever. We'll just talk about CPT. Central America.
Boom, there we go. I got it in there.
They had it there the whole time. Professional. Game
It was
10.
always there. We'll have 15 minutes to blather on about it.
Whoops. Yeah, that we don't need it.
Central America East, meaning essentially the Caribbean. So it was the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and nearby countries, nearby places.
Oh, was it just Central? Was it Central America East? Is that what they called it?
That is what they called it,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It was won by Bandits Mena RD, who played mostly Birdie and a little bit of Sakura. He played super well. He actually almost lost to Red Rooster Mono, Fang, in Winter
one
Finals.
hit.
It was down to the very last decision.
One hit, dude.
One hit away. It was the final round, final game, super, super close.
Sounds decisive to me.
Like it was literally like, I think it was that an up ball hit Mena RD, and Mono thought he would block, so Mono went for a grab right away, but Birdie had been hit, so he wasn't throwable, so then Mena like pressed light kick or something to get the victory. It was like weird, scrambly little, could have gone either way.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I mean, honestly, Birdie, Fang, and Ed in the top 3.
That was the top
really,
3. And then
really cool.
4th place was Cammy, that's Hermes Venatori. And then it was Nash, Ibuki, Vega to round out the top 5. So hats off to Street Fighter and the local scene. And Mena RD said this as well. Some of the players who made that top 8, especially like Zero Stress in 3rd place, it's not the people who have been killing it in the DR scene for a long time. Like Cabo was up there, DRA those are both top 8, but they weren't in top 3. And some of the people who had definitely always been in the past, like Crossover's been good for a long time, Louis Man, Hochi, like other folks, they weren't in the top 8. So he was talking about how there's kind of this new crop of Dominican players that he's really proud of. Pretty cool.
That is cool.
He also, during the interview that we had with him at the end, he was like, I've been practicing a lot for Fang, and I was like, nobody plays Fang where you are. Like there are Fang players in the US and Canada. How are you getting? It's only Mono. Like, what do you mean you're getting a lot of Fang practice? And he was like, oh, you didn't hear that I flew in infiltration for the week to practice.
All right.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, it's hard to find someone who can use that many characters like that. So, oh man,
that I thought was like, I've never heard of somebody like bringing in a ringer for training in that way, but that was the decision.
Well, usually you just go to them. Like usually that's how.
What's that?
That's like, as usually you go to them. You don't bring them to you. Like usually, you're like, yeah, I'm going to go to New York and train the New York guys for X amount of time. It's definitely different to bring someone to you.
Or even if you do have a character that you really want to train up and you want to bring them to you. I mean, there are Fang players who are really good who live closer to the Dominican Republic, both in Europe and North America.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, he won. So.
It worked. Yeah. Okay, and then we move on. Big Levo. There was another one of these. These are really fun to watch. I didn't watch most of it because I was doing commentary for CPT, but I did catch a little bit of it, and it was fun. Super good matches as per usual.
The North America one was won by Marn this time, right?
Correct. Marn won it
from losers bracket.
Rise Marn won it with Giovanna, a character.
With Giovanna being salty and it's Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hanzo Gonzo, maybe? I'm not really sure if
he downplays. I mean, and Hanzo Gonzo. He downplays too. Hanzo Gonzo.
Anyway, Marn, Guilty Gear. I mean, obviously he's been a top Guilty Gear player for 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, he's been a killer Guilty Gear player. I mean, really.
A killer player. I love it. I love it.
For Guilty Gear, he's definitely a killer, for sure.
He's a killer.
Yeah.
Red Ditto got second place with Ram. Very nice. Teemo third with Soul. It's cool. Good work, everybody. And then
you know what's my favorite part about, before you move on to Europe, my favorite part about NA was Red Ditto's performance, and then Sajam taking credit for Red Ditto's performance.
Oh yeah? Oh, right.
Absolutely, 100%. Sajam said, "Well, Red Ditto comes in Sajam's chat, and he's a Sajam fan, right? So Sajam streams Guilty Gear most days that he streams, and he switches between PC and PS4 to give other people a chance to play him. Well, he just hangs out in VIP, and people come to wherever he is and they play him. And Red Ditto's one of those players. So Sajam went on his stream and said, well, all these people saying Sajam isn't nice, he doesn't play any good players, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Sajam fans come in here and they wash me up, and then they go take second at Big Levo. So Sajam was taking the credit for Red Ditto's performance. It was such a good Sajam moment. I'm proud.
Gotta do it, right? Gotta do it.
I would have too, absolutely. Cool. I'm like, yeah, that's my training partner, no big deal.
For sure.
I mean, he gets to, but see, now Sajam gets to put the money where the whichever way it goes. But
there's no money besides Maturino, but he gets to put up or shut up.
Commentator Cup, man. It's time for Sajam to shine.
But yeah, Red Ditto played very well. Not well enough to beat Marn, but very well. David, you are muted.
I see that. Yeah, a lot of the people who entered this are known, right? Like we know a lot of the people who entered Levo.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's super cool that Red Ditto got that high. Also, shout outs to Mike Softig, the player from Mexico who played in Evo with the Mexico is NA handle, getting top 8 in the NA event at Levo. Nice work.
Yep.
He seems really good.
Mike Softig is a very, very strong Soul player.
I mean, he does well at Wednesday night fights every week. Yeah. So every week.
Juicy Mike. Guilty Gear Strive Europe, TU/won it with May.
Good character, broken character.
Second place, Barry Bones Axel. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Latif was in Levo for EU.
Latif was top 8. Latif was top 8.
Yeah, he's Zato. He was Zato in top 8. Yeah, he's getting back into FGC, and that makes me so excited. So he actually tweeted recently. He was like, you know what? They've convinced me to try to get back into it, and so he's trying to learn Guilty Gear Strive right now, and he's doing it.
Seems like he's having a lot of fun with Strive too. He's been posting videos and such.
I mean, he was a Zato player before, and Zato. I mean, Zato is a character. He's good. He's good. Don't let people tell you he's not good. So the character's scary.
Yeah, don't let beautiful dude and Long Island Joe convince you.
Good work to Latif. Super cool to see him.
Not Vera Losers. I haven't heard of this series before. So what's the story?
Did you not put KI United up here also?
Oh no, I miss KI. Well, I've actually run out of space.
Okay, we'll just do them both right here. NotVeraGood is a streamer who does a lot of Mortal Kombat stuff. She has been for a while. She's run tournaments and just like exhibitions and stuff, and she does a nice job of it, both for North America and for Europe. So NotVera Losers Bracket. This was a EU MK11 event. It's part of a series that she's doing. First and second at this event qualify for the Ultimate Losers Bracket. And there's going to be 4 events that lead up to that, so it'll be a top 8 bracket for it. The top 2 for this were TC Omi and Serious Hitman, who I've seen do well in other events too. So that was really cool. If you are interested, her stream is twitch.tv/NotVeraGood. I like it. I mean, she's got a good personality, good crew of people hanging out in the Twitch chat. I've anonymously hung out in there several times, so it's cool. Cool. I am primarily a lurker. It's true. I mean, usually when I watch Twitch, it's like I'm doing work and I'm just lurking. But
have it on the background for sure.
Yeah. Okay,
I was actually watching a bunch of Kid Viper yesterday. He makes Gold Lewis look really good.
Gold Lewis is really good.
Yeah,
Gold Lewis is definitely a strong character, but that's a whole different subject we can talk about some other time.
Absolutely. So Killer Instinct United was a big event that happened over the past weekend. Very cool that they put this together. And winner was Alex V.
Not surprising.
I mean, he's been doing great in the scene for quite a while at this point. So that's really cool to see. A lot of the other people in this, I know almost everybody. I don't know Night Slash or if we.
Oh yeah, I know Night Slash. Yeah.
You know Night Slash. Okay, cool. Yeah. Other than that, third place Delta Rayquaza, fifth was Chronicle, and also Latalis. Seventh was Base.
Sounds like all the usual suspects here.
Yeah. All the KI players are there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, that's it for events. Things that have happened anyway. As far as upcoming stuff, a couple things to watch for. In fact, to still enter. If you're interested in playing Them's Fightin' Herds, Grand Stampede is an event that's coming up this coming Saturday, August 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be streamed on twitch.tv/main6dev, 6 the number 6, main6dev. Signups are actually still open. So you can sign up for yourself if you're interested to play. Again, that will be Saturday. Also, this is amazing because this game actually has great netcode. Here's the regions: North America, Central America, South America, and Europe, including Russia. So shout outs to a game that can have half of the globe.
Yeah, right?
So cool.
Sign up open until Wednesday, says Grover Toast.
Yeah, check it out. And then there's also an event coming up a little bit after that on Saturday, September 4th, called Bad Things Happening to Good People.
Dude, this is like, we strive so hard to make our tournaments as good as possible. This is a decision, and I think this is where the 5-5 matchup question came from, of how to make things as agonizing as possible. Sure. It is a single game, single elimination, online Smash Ultimate tournament. Anybody can enter, no regions, doesn't care about Wi-Fi, no netcode check. It is just going to, and you know what? Currently, and I don't know if they've capped it at this on purpose, currently there was 1,337 entrants in there, which is like so on brand, and I really hope that is going to stay, dude. You get DQ'd if you ask for a check.
I got bad news. There are currently 1,347 attendees.
Oh no!
But that's amazing that you happened to catch it at that moment. That's so cool.
Yeah, I know. Also, if anyone could tell me what the song they used in the trailer was, please let me know, because that song is great.
Dude, the trailer was amazing.
The trailer is incredible.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out the trailer yet, if you go to their smash.gg page, the trailer is on there. I think it's smash.gg/bad things, and just check the trailer. If anybody knows what that song they use in the trailer is, please let me know. So,
last upcoming thing to talk about happens even later. It's actually October 2nd to 3rd, but it's East Coast Throwdown presents The Pit, and this is an in-person invitational exhibition. It's going to have Strive, Melty, MK11, Tekken 7, and Street Fighter 5 with $10,000 in prizing from Astro, which is amazing. It also has in-person attendance, 150-person attendance cap. It's going to be at Brookland in New York. So check that out if you are interested in doing so. You can go to their Smash GG page, or just go to ecthrowdown.com and you can get all the info there.
Offline, man.
Offline, yeah. I mean, in limited amounts like that, and in specifically certain places,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna shake my head because I miss it so much.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why I said it. Just, man, I can't wait till offline stuff comes back, man.
Yeah, I hear that.
All right.
Okay, that's all for upcoming stuff.
All right, mailbag.
We have a lot of mailbag questions.
Yeah, we have a
today.
lot of questions.
All right, so
let's. CPT South. I just want to briefly say CPT South Africa is actually this weekend, and that is also very cool. I'm so curious about the scene in South Africa. It's one that I don't know very much about. So I am definitely going to be watching. Curious about how that goes.
For sure, 100%, 100%.
Okay.
All right. Show question. Oops, hang on a second. Let's do this. There we go. Stephanie Brownback via Twitter asks, if you could have a definitive answer to one unsolved mystery, which would you choose? For example, the identity of Jack the Ripper or DB Cooper?
I want to know what the deal is with dark matter. What's the deal with that?
What's the deal with it?
What's the deal with dark matter? Can you solve that mystery for me? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. And
I think Stephanie meant actual unsolved mysteries, not scientific conundrums. I think there's a big difference there between Jack the Ripper and what's the meaning of life.
What happens after you die?
Here.
That's what I'd like to know.
You're reaching here, bud.
I want to know why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's what I would want answered at this point in time. That is to me, or how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
James, haven't I told you that I have answered that question for myself as a kid?
Yeah.
I did it. I don't remember what the number was though.
I would like to know where on earth is Carmen Sandiego?
Where
let's see. Serious answer to this. This is a fun question.
I mean, there's so many questions. I mean, like, this is such a broad question that I'd really have to sit back and think about this, because, it is
the thing is that for a lot of the conspiracies, those aren't going to be my answers, because I don't like JFK just got shot by one dude. Like, there's not a big conspiracy. Like, I don't believe enough that there's actually like a big problem there to use my one unsolved mystery on something like that. Like,
how about this one? What's the deal with Stonehenge? You know, I would actually like to know what is the deal with Stonehenge, dude. Because that would be cool.
What was it for? Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's killing me that no one knows why it was built 500 years ago. Anyway, I
feel like he's got to be real bored to do that.
You think Stonehenge is boring? No.
Yeah, no, I think it's boredom that they caused it.
Oh,
they didn't have Legos or Kinects or the internet or TV. What else are you gonna do? You stack some rocks, dog. That's what you do back then. You got rocks. What else did you have?
I mean, it's that or Easter Island, right? Or, you know, pyramid heads. Got pyramids. Pyramid heads.
Pyramid heads.
Whoops.
Can you imagine if there was giant pyramid heads just walking through the Sahara?
Dude, I would leave the Earth. I would leave the Earth. I would leave the Earth. So, oh, man.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Actual unsolved mystery. I don't know what the name of this one is, but there's a story that happened in, like, I want to say like the 90s, where 5 people went out to a campsite. One of them was like different from the others in one way, like he was autistic or something like that. And the theory is that he murdered all of them, but there's like tons of evidence that there isn't. I'd have to look it up. There's like a whole story behind it. That's the one I would like to know.
I mean, because investigation code says Dilatov Pass, or someone says the Ketty murders. Is it one of those?
I don't remember. The Ketty murders might be it. But basically, all they ever found was like the car several miles away with like a full tank of gas and like closed, like the doors closed, the keys like just sitting there, and like a T-shirt from one of the people that a witness had seen. They had saw someone wearing a shirt like that, and that's like all that they never found the bodies or anything. And there's like some
saying it's
leftover cans of food. Yeah, okay.
Oh no, that's not.
That's whatever it was, man. That's the one that I've read about several times, and I'm like, man, that is wild. I would like to know what actually happened. I wish I knew more of the name. It's been like a good year since I read about it. I'm sure it'll pop up on Reddit again. It pops up on Reddit like once a year, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this.
My answer is, did Bush do 9/11? Got it. Nailed it.
Did Bush do it?
Oh man.
Seriously, I'd like to know more about that. I don't think he did it, to be very clear, but more backstory to that one would be cool.
All right, let's get back to this, shall we?
Yeah, we have a lot to get through.
Wasik via Twitter asks, if you were an enemy in a video game, what would you drop upon death, and what would be the rare drop?
What would I drop in a video game? Meat. I would give meat.
But you don't even fuck with meat like that. Like, you don't even eat meat that often.
I don't, but...
So why would you drop meat?
Because I'm made of meat, and you just killed me. What do you mean, why? There it is. It's right here. It's all over the place. Meat everywhere.
All right.
Just a bunch of meat.
Yep. Even the NRS dev says you're gross. So.
And someone's like, "This is just a weird
throwing
answer."
That out there.
I would drop salt. I mean, this is always the answer that I have. I would drop salt.
So what would your rare item be?
Right, that's what I'm trying to think right now. What would be the rare drop? What would be the rare drop? Like, I feel like it would be like a Tetris block or something like that, you know, or gosh.
My rare drop would be a book. I would drop meat and books. You know, that's what you need to get by. Just the normal Tuesday.
Sure.
This is the monster that you never kill because you don't care about the items that
just
it drops.
Just meat. Well, yeah, I don't know. You got to raise your IQ stat, right? That way you'll be able to.
So you are helping create very strong warriors.
That's right. Yeah, come to me if you want to level up. Come to me if you want to level up.
Because you can heal yourself with David Meat and David Books.
That's right. Fill up on my meat and then learn from me in my day.
Take upon my knowledge. This is getting really Christian all of a sudden, maybe Catholic. Body of my.
Yeah, of course, Stephanie. In games, when you beat up a character and then they die and they produce meat, what do you think the meat is?
Well, usually it's shaped like a turkey or a chicken, so I would hope it would be one of those.
Sometimes it is, but very often it's beef. That's what they want you to think. But beef could just be human flesh. You don't know.
Human beef.
I mean, Breath of the Wild, everything you kill turns into a beautiful slab of steak, right? What would be my
All right, moving on.
Okay, what's your drop? No, what's your drop and your rare drop?
Yeah, what do you do?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you do?
All right. So, very obviously, I would drop like rolling papers and a lighter, like a Zippo. Like, it's very obvious that's what I'm dropping, right? But my rare drop, I would drop bars.
Whoa.
Ooh, it's the best answer we had. All right, very nice, very nice.
All right. I'm not even gonna respond anymore with mine. So, okay.
Moving on. Nailed it. Killed the question.
All right. So, Alex Morales via Twitter asks, Rockstars have guitars in uncommon shapes. Which uncommon shape would your fight stick have? I mean, this is like the question for David, right? Because his fight stick already has...
Stick ready. He has the stick ready.
Right? I mean, he's already just had odd shapes.
Two boxes held together by a cord.
You know what?
Go ahead, James.
I would say that mine would be in the shape of the eyepiece from Tetris. There you go. So
that's a rectangle.
That's literally just like a standard branded hitbox.
Yeah, I know.
I think if I was to have like a weird arcade stick, I would probably make it in the shape of like an old console, like an NES, or maybe even like Xbox. Like, a lot of people took old Xbox 360s and turned them into sticks. I always thought those actually look kind of dope, and they're spacious and comfortable. I've used one before, so that'll probably be. I'll probably go like a 360, something like that. I wouldn't go too wild with it.
Like, I could do with a T piece, or like L or J pieces would get weird, but the S or Z would be very bizarre. Like, if you designed it that way, would it have to be kind of like diagonal? Like you would actually use it diagonal-ish just to be able to have the buttons in the and the joystick in the right position.
If it's like hitbox style, I don't think it would matter much, right? You could have it anywhere.
Well, the thing is, you could obviously make it gigantic, but then you just have this random protruding thing off to the side. So if you rotated it, you could actually use it kind of like.
That's where you put the cup holder.
Yeah. Okay, the cup. Okay, fair enough. And the weed compartment.
You've
right?
sold it. I'm in.
The weed compartment and the cup holder. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. Next question. This one's asked by amazing Twitter account. David's Dirty Dishes via Twitter says, do you make sure to clean both sides of your dishes?
First off, I want to know who took the time out to make a Twitter account just for that. And then specifically follow Ultra Chen TV, Tubwar, Ultra David, and James Chen. Like, I want to know who did that.
Excellent.
Second off, of course, I mean, I have a dishwasher, so I don't have to do too much manual dishwashing.
Yeah, that's my answer. I almost never wash dishes. I rinse them off.
Oh, we know.
And then I let the machine do the work. Dang it! I stepped right into it. Yeah, it's basically I'm relying on my robots most of the time to do that kind of stuff. I'm not hand washing dishes very often these days.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I did let those dishes pile up, we did not have a dishwasher. If we did, it would have been exactly the same situation. Nothing would.
I hand wash all of my dishes. Yes, I wash both sides of the dish every single time. So, I mean, that's as straightforward answer as you can get. So, what about you?
Thanks
Tubo?
for the Twitter account. That is hilarious.
Yeah, dishwasher. As I said, I have a dishwasher.
Now, this next question is very interesting to me. Fat Cat via Twitter asks, who has the second worst food takes in the FGC? Who's the first?
Yeah.
Does he already have a first in mind? Is that?
I mean, there's a few that could be first.
Yeah, that's true. There are people out there who only eat fries and similar things.
Yeah. I mean, we could go down the list. Punk has said some wild shit. Chris G eats like French fries and mac and cheese only. But cheese, man, he's in such good shape. He must work out a lot.
Yeah, because he's in really good shape.
Yeah.
He said he's been trying more things, though. He said he has been trying more things. I believe on Twitter.
Yeah, just based on other stuff that he's been talking about lately, that makes sense, and that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just changing his perspective on life.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, we know Big for Little. We know Apology Man can't do that.
Yeah, we know Beneath is
can't cook cereal. Actually, he can cook cereal. He's one of the only people who does cook cereal.
Who does cook it, right? I think because I'm Batman. Just a kid, or just a whatever he goes by now. He changes his name every year.
Dry
I think
pancakes?
He has the second worst. Second worst.
Who does?
Okay.
Just a kid, or he used to go because I'm Batman. I've never stopped calling him that.
Right.
Was that his original name?
His original name was BCUZ. I'm Batman. And that face you're making, David, is why I'll never let him forget it. It was the worst name. Because I'm Batman. I mean, he's just a kid is really bad too.
But the thing is, he's not even just a kid anymore. He calls himself Justa now. He's just
that's what I'm saying. He changes his name every year because they've all been terrible choices. Just like his food takes. Second worst in the FGC.
Wow. Blown up.
But it's just a weird question. Who has the second worst take? Because I feel like that
way
means
more specific. I like that.
We have to determine who we feel like is the worst, and then go with the second worst.
I think this was designed to avoid the argument of who's worst, because we can all have our own worst and then our own second worst. We don't have to determine a first worst, because there's so many bad takes. There's so many bad takes.
Were you there when Wolfcrone was out in LA and we went out to Chinese food with him? I don't remember if you were there or not.
Yeah, I was not there. I was there.
Maybe you're talking to me. I was not there.
And it was the very first time he had ever had Chinese food. He was like 20-something years old, and just had somehow never done that. And I think what he got was fried chicken. Is that right?
Something like that.
I mean, if you don't trust anything on the menu.
Yeah. It was like I was like everybody that we were with like Justin and Sherry and I don't know, half a dozen other people, and they were all like, "How could you go to Chinese food?" They didn't want to try anything at all. That always sticks with me.
Rough.
All right. Well, in any case, I don't know that much about food, so I'm no cuisinologist.
We've heard about your college meals. Take a can of chicken and a can of mixed veggies, and you put it on the fry pan, and that's a meal, baby.
Dump them in. Maybe you put a little bit of salt in there. I don't know.
Freaking gross, man.
All right, Tabby Nat via Twitter asks, "What's a regular day in James Brock's life like?" Oof, loaded question here. Okay,
I wake up at about 7 or 7:15.
And confirm.
I sit in bed because
actually going back to the last question.
Okay.
16-bit did say that Dizzy eats plain pancakes, like no butter, no syrup.
Bro, I went through a phase of my life where I ate plain pancakes too.
Really? Like that just sounds like
they were so damn good. It's just a sweetbread. It's like a sweetbread. It doesn't really need syrup, man. We're just Americans where it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, sugar, let's do it. But pancakes are very sweet on their own.
But they're dry, right?
They're only dry if you let them sit for a while. If you eat them fresh,
that really depends on the pancake.
If you eat them fresh and you have like an actual good recipe, not like powdered shit in a box. If you make it from hand, like fresh, like they're delicious.
Yep, okay. I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Okay. Anyways,
but if they're like Lego microwave pancakes, why would you do that to yourself? Please drown that in syrup and butter.
All right. Well, anyways, back to the question
I wake up at 7 or 7:15. I sit in bed and snuggle under the covers for about half an hour because I can't get up quickly. Then I get up and I brush my teeth, etc. I drink an entire one of these before I do anything else. Then I do my physical therapy exercises. Then I feed the cats. Then I make breakfast and coffee for myself and for my wife if she wants any. And then I sit around for about half an hour. Now it's about 9. And I get to work, and then I'm working for a while, and then I take a lunch break, and sometimes that involves games, but sometimes not. And then I go back to work, and then I try to find something to do that's productive at least, even if I don't have like actively billable hour work until like 7-ish or so. And then I go make dinner, and then my wife makes dinner. We oftentimes do it independently, but sometimes make dinner together. And then we watch Carl Sagan videos until Carl Sagan 42 in the YouTube, to be clear, not 19.
I know.
Okay, and we do that until like maybe 10 o'clock, and then I'm asleep by about 11. That's the day in old exciting Davy's life.
James,
are you?
Or should I go first?
All right, fine.
I mean, I can go.
I wake up. And then I go back to sleep, and then I wake up, and then I go back to sleep, and then I wake up, and then I go back to sleep, I think. And then I finally get up at around 2 o'clock. Olaf has probably called me and says, "Hey, you want to grab lunch?" All right, so we go grab lunch, we eat, we hang out for a little bit. I go back into my home, and then I lie on my couch and contemplate life and wonder, what's worth anything anymore. And then the cat jumps on my stomach, and then I pass out with a cat on my stomach, and then I wake up, and then I think, man, I should really stream, but then I don't feel like streaming because I feel self-conscious, and I contemplate life, and I wonder if anything's worth it. And then I think about trying to grab food or do something, and then I do that while watching some TV and then doing crossword puzzles on my phone. And then afterwards I go back to sitting there and wondering what the hell is going on, and I think about how I should stream, and then I don't stream. Then I figure I should probably go to sleep, and so I try to get ready for sleep. This is usually around like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and then I lie in bed, and then I roll around in bed for about 3 hours because I can't fall asleep while watching Iron Chef on the TV. And then I sit there and roll around and contemplate life and wondering if what's worth anything anymore. And then eventually I fall asleep, and then I wake up and do it again.
If you could challenge one Iron Chef, who would it be?
If I could challenge one Iron Chef, I would probably challenge Iron Chef Chen Kenichi, only because I would just want to eat everything that he cooked. Basically.
I don't care if I win. I just want the
Fair
food.
enough, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. I also do my dailies on Tekken. I do my dailies in Final Fantasy Record Keeper. This is all before I go to sleep. And then I do my daily word puzzles on my phone. Just a bunch of different like little miniature puzzle games, like nonograms and like little mini crosswords and stuff like that, you know, because I love puzzle games. So yeah.
Do you have any do you have any advice for who to read? It sounds like you're doing a lot of reading about the meaning of life and philosophy, and I'm curious if you have any recommendations.
Reading.
Sounds like you're doing a lot of contemplating. So
Who do you think I am? Reading
for nerds.
The only thing I read is on like Twitter on my phone these days.
yeah, you read as much as anybody.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah, basically.
Hey.
I have been reading Invincible and
cool.
the last Ronin. Last Ronin is really good, but it's coming out way too slow. Last Ronin is a story of all the Ninja Turtles died but one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And it's probably not the turtle you would think would survive.
Okay.
So
sick,
cool.
dude. Oh, that sounds great.
Which one is the one that survives?
No, I don't want.
I don't want to spoil it. I want people to.
Oh wait, you don't actually know? Oh, I see. It's like
no. I know, but they don't.
Well, no, I mean like in the comics, it's not like. This is about Donatello, who is the...
Yeah, no,
oh,
no.
Okay, got it.
And it's all in black and white, so you can't see the bandana color.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so you have no idea anyways. And the turtles carrying all their weapons with them as like a monument to their brothers.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's sick. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. And
so it's actually a mystery. It's a mystery.
Yeah,
got it. Okay.
But they're taking forever with the issues. They're like no joke, like 6-8 months between. So
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, COVID hit and the team got separated.
Right. I mean, we could run first to 100-man tournaments, you know, in that time. Seriously.
You're right. Yeah, we definitely could.
But what is
does anyone want to hear about my day, or should we?
Yeah.
Just,
what is your daily life?
Well, it depends on when you want to count my day as starting. Usually my cat wakes me up the first time at like 4 a.m. To cuddle. He likes to lick my face until I hold him. And then he'll do this several times for the course of the night. And sometimes if I get up and feed him, like super early, like say 5 a.m, he'll leave me alone. Other times he'll go eat and then want to cuddle again. So he continually wakes me up. Which, I mean, it sounds cute, but holy shit, dude. When I'm falling asleep at 12 and he's waking me up at 4 every day, it's just like, Jesus Christ, man, I need to start locking you out of my room. So that's where I am with my cat right now. That's our relationship. Do I need to start closing my bedroom door?
He loves you very much. You're thinking about walling him off. Got it.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what the craziest thing is? My cats used to try to wake me up, I think. But I think that they've realized that it just doesn't ever work. So I don't think they try anymore. They've just given up.
They tell me do not close the door.
I mean, in my case, they just bother the person I'm sleeping next to because she wakes up easily and I'm just a rock.
No.
So it's
not me. I mean, my cat sleeps on top of me when I sleep a lot, and that doesn't bother me. But as soon as he like starts messing with my face, he knows I'm gonna wake up.
Good boy.
So yeah, it depends on when you want to start my day. Up until recently, I've been waking up and puking every day of my life. That hasn't been happening as much lately, so that's been dope. Yeah. Although I did get a calzone Sunday night, and then Monday was the worst day ever. I won't go into details, but it was gross. But generally speaking, I'm not bad. I still have stomach issues every day, but I don't vomit that much anymore, which is great, which sounds weird, but that's been my life. And then I wake up at about 7:15. I also lay in bed, usually with my cat for a while. I clock into work. Well, I don't even clock. I don't have like an actual time clock. I start work at 7:45, and by that I mean I open my work laptop and then I go shower or whatever, and then I get my work day going about 8. work all day until 4:30, and then I usually either make food or order something, do that. Then I do a lot of what James does. I kind of just sit there sometimes. It depends if my girlfriend is coming over or not. If she comes over, I have something to do. Otherwise, I sit there and go, man, I should really stream. And then I think about that because I'm stoned out of my fucking head. Obviously, I forgot to add that part. As soon as I'm off work, smokage. It is time to get blazed. I have to for my stomach. That's the only thing that makes me feel better. Doctors have not been able to figure out anything either. So I smoke a lot of drugs when I get off work. I feel better, and then I eat food, and because I can finally eat, my stomach's not hurting anymore. And then I sit there and contemplate, why am I not streaming or creating some form of content? Because that's the world we live in. That's literally part of our jobs, is doing that stuff.
That's true.
So I contemplate, why am I not doing that? And then sometimes I go, maybe I should stop saying why and just fucking do it. And I do it. And that's always fun. And then I question, why do I make that so hard on myself? And then I think about that for the rest of the night, and then I go to sleep and do it all over again.
That is just streaming.
So, like real talk, the hardest part about streaming is turning on the stream.
Yep,
absolutely.
That is 100. At least like for me, and I for you guys as well.
Dude, like most people say the same thing. Most people say
just doing it. Just do it. Like, even if you're like a 2 viewer streamer or a 2,000 viewer streamer, the hardest fucking part is just actually starting it and doing it.
You're right.
I will say one thing,
that's what I do a lot of.
The past couple of weeks, though, I've been because I've just been like, ugh, and so like I haven't been streaming, and I haven't been pressuring myself to stream. I've just been like, you know what, I'm taking August off, and so I just really haven't streamed, and I've been spending a lot of time cleaning my house, which I haven't done in a very long time, and throwing things away and recycling things and doing a bunch of stuff, and it's been very therapeutic, I'll tell you right now. Like, just seeing my house look a lot cleaner at this point. I mean, it's not like everything is vastly different, but it's just, I mean, the biggest problem is my home has no storage space, and I'm a hoarder, so like it's really hard to figure out like how to do stuff. So it's kind of
one of those two things is a real problem, Jay.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the storage, bro.
Well, it's both, honestly, because there just is no storage space in this home at all. Like, there's no closets, there's no cabinets and stuff like that, and the closets that are there are very, very small and such. And so, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for me.
Understandable. Man, I can say from just my own experience of like, when depression ramps up on me real bad, I notice it happens after I let my apartment get disgusting. Like, after I I shouldn't even say disgusting, because like other people have come to my home when I feel it's at its worst, and they're like, dude, it's not bad in here.
Yeah.
But for me, it feels gross. Like right now, you guys can't see it, but I feel like my place is gross. And just this past weekend, I had like a super rough time with some depression. Like, from Friday well into like Sunday morning, I barely left my bed. I slept almost all of Saturday, and like I got up Sunday and I was like, my place is gross. Maybe that's why I don't feel good. And I still haven't cleaned it up, but at least I think I recognized part of why I don't feel good. Like, so yeah, like cleaning your space is for sure a good thing. That's definitely a good thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a long time to build consistent habits in a way that I could like structure my life around. It took many years, and now having done it, when I'm doing something like in that whole routine that I talked about, sometimes I'm doing one of those things that I'm like, I don't really feel like doing whatever it is, like whichever part of that. I don't really feel like it. I'll just do the next thing or something else. When I do that, when I let myself give into that, the rest of the day is downhill. I notice it right away. So I have to keep up that structure, to be honest. Like, that's something I've learned about myself. I have to keep that up. And if any one part of it, I mean, it's not the things themselves. It's that I have a routine. It's the routine that is important itself.
Sure. That makes sense.
And if I let that go away, then I go away myself. So I have to be really cautious about maintaining that.
Dude, one of the hardest things that has happened about cleaning up recently, honestly, too, is the pandemic. Like, it's interesting because I have like some old mattresses and I can't get rid of them because no one will take mattresses anymore because of the pandemic. You know, like, I don't know what to do with it. And my problem is, when I say I'm a hoarder, it's not just that I'm a hoarder, it's I'm afraid to waste things. I don't like throwing things away. Sure. So that's why I'm obsessed with recycling right now. I mean, when I wash dishes, half the time when I'm actually washing dishes, like, I'm washing TV dinner trays, you know, I'm washing the you know, like the breakfast tray thing that McDonald's gave me for their pancakes, you know, just so I can actually recycle those things too. You know, I eat like small bag of Doritos. I will wash that in the sink so I can recycle that, you know, like I've gone crazy with that. And so it's just like, I have empty boxes that I hate throwing away. I have like I said, those mattresses. I should just call the city to come and toss them into the trash, but I don't want to do that. Like it sucks. So I'm not sure how to handle this.
If you need somebody to help triage, let me know. That would actually be an amazing day.
Oh, man.
David comes, all right, this is trash. All right, throwing this out.
See, I wouldn't be able to do that because, trust me, Olaf has tried. Olaf has tried many, many times. I've had to tell him to stop because it's not just something that's like, all right, I'll throw it away for you. Then I get really aggravated and frustrated and stuff like that. I have to be mentally willing to let something go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not something that's just like, hey, I'm holding on to it for, like, one time Olaf and his girlfriend cleaned my kitchen and I had a panic attack because everything was in a different spot. And like, I couldn't handle it. And it was weird, but like, that's where the OCD comes in. That's where the OCD comes in a lot of the time. So, you know, it's hard for me to be able to have stuff like that. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very depressing note to end the show on. Thanks for coming on to the show, guys. Like, couldn't reveal all my life secrets to a better group of two people.
Yeah, same to you.
And the thousands that are going to listen through podcast later and watch on YouTube. And...
All right, let's like very quickly go through the last two because they're funny.
There's two more. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Your Mind by Phil Rufio says will be transferred into an animal's body and need to play your fighting game of choice at Evo. What animal will you choose to be?
I mean, I feel like the obvious answer is chimpanzee, right?
I choose human being.
Got him! Hold the question.
Bam!
So if it's not a human, I feel like it has to be like a chimp, right? Like, you want to have opposable thumb and fingers. I feel like that's like the obvious.
Who needs opposable thumbs when you can be an octopus?
I was just gonna say it's an octopus. That's my answer.
Could it survive outside of the water long enough to play its match?
I mean, maybe I just invent. You need to invent it. Just like put some plastic wrap around a joystick. You're fine.
Dude, do you know how long? Do you know how long octopi can actually live outside of water? There are so many. I
actually have no idea.
There are so many stories, like the octopi that memorized security route patterns in an aquarium, so that whenever the security guard would leave, it would leave its tank, crawl across like the aquarium into another tank, eat all the fish, crawl back out, and go all the way back. Dude, octopi are ridiculously smart.
Yeah, they're smart. That's awesome. I hadn't heard that. That's awesome.
There is a billion of these stories about octopi, or octopuses. Apparently, is supposed to be how it is. But yeah, it's supposed to be octopuses. But yeah, like these are. I mean, I prescribe to the theory that they're actually alien creatures that are living on our planet right now. That they are alien life, because people often say that when they study octopuses, like they don't even have like there's things about them that aren't like particularly like earthy, you know, like there's just weird stuff about them that they don't understand. So, I mean, the fact that there's the mimic octopus that can pretend to be another sea animal, like, have you seen the videos of these things where it will just like pretend to be like this other thing and like change its shape to look exactly like another
instant camo and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've like seen those videos.
They like, dude, these things are like, they'll squeeze through the hole that's like about the size of a pencil, like, and they're just like gone. And dude,
I just don't think the tentacles could operate properly with very sensitive Samurai buttons, which is all I play on. So I just don't think that it would work very well.
I think I could do it. I think if I had an octopus brain or set of brains, because I don't think they have a single central option there.
Well, you'd have your mind. You would still be you. You'd still be smartest.
But I'd be distributed to some degree within this octopus body in a different way. I think I could do it.
I think you're underestimating the power of an octopus. So, and
I believe they're very smart. It's just the fact that they don't have hard digits to like hit buttons with. I don't know. They can't use their beak to control the stick. Like, it'll just be weird, man.
They're 8 arms, dude.
I like an octopus. I'm happy with an octopus.
They would have to dedicate an arm to each button.
No, they can move their arms. What do you mean?
No, chimpanzee for sure. That's the correct answer. You guys are wild.
It is.
I'm looking up mimic octopuses right now, octopuses, because these things are ridiculous, dude. You guys need to look up. If you haven't watched any videos of mimic octopuses, you need to do that. Because those things are ridiculous. All right.
Final question.
Final question.
Ishun Sengeki asks via Twitter, a hypothetical FGC eatery has created a sandwich, or equivalent dish if you prefer, in your name. What does your sandwich consist of?
It's already happened.
Okay. Oh, sick. All right, go.
This has already happened. There is, in Champaign, Illinois, there is a barbecue place called Porgy's Barbecue. And on their menu, they have the Tub O tips.
What?
They have the Tub O tips.
What?
And it's a tub of rib tips.
Wait.
But it's not but it's not a sandwich, but it doesn't have to be a sandwich.
It says whatever. Right, I mean, if it already exists, why do I need to...
Is it just the case that they happen to sell a tub of tips?
Listen, so in Champaign, Illinois, at Little Porgy's, on their menu, they have the Tub O tips.
You did not answer the question.
And that's all I'm going to say about that. You can interpret it however you want. Okay. But that's what they have.
For sure. My sandwich would be a vegan Reuben. It'd be a Reuben on rye with, the sauce that you put on there and coleslaw. And it would be Impossible beef ramen. I mean ramen. It would be Impossible beef.
Ramen on a sandwich.
Impossible beef, corned beef. Yeah, that sounds so good. I've never had that. It sounds great.
I don't. That would take so much effort to make that happen. To make Impossible burger,
dude,
or Impossible meat.
I mean, I have had vegan ramen. I don't know why I keep saying ramen. A vegan Reuben.
Investigation
at
Cone,
Deli. Like they do sell it.
Investigation Cone actually put up the menu for Little Porgy's, and I see it there.
Yeah,
and it actually says
Tub O tips. I'm trying to tell you, that's real life. So why would I lie to you guys?
The Reuben is the king of sandwiches. Doesn't get any better than a corned beef Reuben.
My sandwich would be a salt sandwich, and it would come with a side of wine. There you go.
Sounds absolutely awful, but I like the puns. The puns are good.
Yeah, so that would probably... I mean, honestly, it would probably just be like some crazy meat sandwich or whatever with cheese.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like a meat sandwich.
Yeah, one meat sandwich, please.
One meat sandwich with cheese.
I think that's the gargantuan at Jimmy John's.
Actually, basically. You know what I'd have to do? I would have to kill David, and then I could get the meat. I could get the meat for the sandwich, right?
Don't mix my meat with milk. That wouldn't be very kosher.
I mean, is human meat vegan?
But here's the worst part about it, though, is that one time...
You're not eating animals.
Yeah, I was just trying to eat a meat sandwich. I killed David, but I got a book. I mean, that was like really frustrating, dude.
Man, that would be the worst.
You can't eat that. I mean, it's like clown college, dude. So I was like,
oh no, just
like,
the
really...
book. What could you do with the book?
I don't know, right? Oh man,
not eat it.
Yeah,
just a book.
It's true. Could be a cookbook. Could be a cookbook.
It's a nondescript book.
How to cook 45 humans, right? How to cook 50.
Right now, I'm reading a book on Stalinist philosophy under Ceausescu in Romania. A classic episode, man. What geniuses. Those writers are too good. All right. You want to skedaddle?
Let's wrap it up.
I'm about to go get more of this.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you're watching or listening on Apple or iTunes or Spotify or whatever the hell SoundCloud application you listen to, like it and share it and all that stuff. Thanks. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and if you are
now available on whatever podcast software you're using.
Yeah, all of them.
If you are watching this on YouTube, let us know what kind of sandwich you would have in your name in the comments below. Thank you guys. Have a
Don't
good.
be gross.
Wait, I gotta play birds. I've gotta.
Let us know what you think about Stalinist philosophy under Nikolai Ceausescu.
Literally, no one knows what you're talking about but you. You're the only one. You're the person who's read that.
And Stonehenge is super interesting. I'm sorry. This is the way it is.
I didn't say it wasn't. I said it was created out of boredom. Not that it is boring. There's a difference.
Did nobody in the chat even know about the Stonehenge song that I was singing? It's by the same guys who made What the Fox Says. I'm sad. It's a good song.
That's not helping me.
Yeah.
David's reading books no one read.
You don't know? You don't know what does the fox say? Man, you are. Yeah, exactly. What the fox? Anyways, okay.
Who only cares about getting stoned, not stoned. Correct.
Good work.